though it's not the feeling I had before. Whoa, it's much, much more. I'm live. Hey, Henry, you're the first one in the room. What's up? Hey, Short Lady 82, how you doing? Hey, Fundamental. Hey, how y'all doing? You know I got to get warmed up with some music. I'm sorry I didn't post a notification, but you know me, I got to wing it. Hey, Gina. Hey, Siobhan. Thanks for joining me. Hey, Aubrey. I'll be seeing you later. I'm listening to some old school right now. Perfect for Sunday. LTD. Hey, Millionaire. Hey, Wellness. Hey, Jam and Berries. Hey, Skinty. Thank you. Hey, Brittany. This room is filling up fast. That's what's up. As you could come in, can you hit that like button because you know this is going to be lit? Thank you, Sarah. Thanks for joining me. Hey, LaFronda. Hey, Miss Law. Hey, Velvet Rose. Thank you, Gina. I got these pigtails for Gemini season. Cause you know Gemini like to be all playful and shit. Hey Ken, how you doing? Yeah, I miss going to the skating rink. That was the shit. Thank you, Brittany. Could see. Hey Natasha. What we have is much more than they could see. Hey Saniqua. Thank you. What we have is much more than they could see. I can hear this song every day. Matter of fact, it's in heavy rotation on my playlist. I don't care what people say. I don't care what they say. Oh, it's my shit. How y'all doing though? How's these retrograde planets treating y'all? We got Jupiter retrograde, Pluto, and Saturn. Hey, Adrian, thanks for joining us. Thank you, Velvet. Have is much more than they could see. I would have married Jeffrey Osborne just off of his voice alone. What we have is much more than they could. What we have is much more than they. So one of the topics I wanted to talk about today was thank you, Sandra. One of the topics I wanted to talk about today was the battle between the sexes. Y'all feeling me on this? We need a nice mix of males and females up in here. Hey Michael, how you doing? And I know there's always like a preponderance of females, but hopefully I'll get enough males in here because I want to talk about the battle of the sexes today. Hey Susan, how you doing? Hey Alana, how you doing? I just gotta play another song to get warmed up. Right now, Isley Brothers' Voyage to Atlantis is playing. But I want to hear something more. Hey Bobby, how you doing? So I'm gonna just wait till the room fills up. I want a nice mix of males and females up in here. Now, Henry W. said battle of the sexes is stupid. We would not be able to live with each other. We all have worth and are all equal in the eyes of God. Love one another as much as you can. I wish it was that simple, but I'm going to tell y'all the reason why I want to talk about the battle between the sexes, because it's getting bad out there, y'all, in terms of just, conflict between men and women. And I feel I'm not a feminist, but I do feel like there is a war on women. And it's been like that since the beginning of time. If you want to go back to the Bible days. Hey, Sarah. She said, let's get the battle on. Yeah. So because I've been hearing this saying quite a bit and it's been pissing me off. And a lot of it's coming from the MGTOW movement, but I've just heard regular guys say this too. And I want to know if y'all feel the same way. Just a minute. I got to put some press powder. I'm sweating up in here and I got my air conditioning on full blast. It is hot. Lord have mercy. Henry said, we can't lie. Women have been oppressed and it ain't right. And I'm not trust me, I'm not the type of chick that be screaming, "Oh, women have it so bad." Like I said, I don't identify as a feminist, but there are some things that do bother me about this world and how women are treated and how women are looked down upon. The Jam and Barry said, no, the women are getting bigger and stronger, and the men are getting weaker, lazier, and feminine. Well, that's true. That's part of that agenda. They are trying to emasculate men out here. I will give you that. But one of the things that one of the people I wanted to bring up when Sandra said, yes, men are weak. Men are getting weak. Well, I feel like they are kind of like the weaker species anyway, or the weaker gender anyway, just mainly just due to the fact that they can't really handle emotions like women can now. Men will say that women are more emotional, but that's because we let our shit out. So like men will hold a lot of that shit in, and then they become aggressive and combative and violent and all that type of stuff. It's really the difference between the sun and moon, also Mars and Venus. So I'm going to get into that in a minute too. So Lana said, I'm sick of these monsters killing these children. Yes, that's a big problem too. And also killing women. That's not really, to me, I don't think it's discussed enough about how women are at risk dealing with a lot of men. It's like every day I hear a story. Hey, Larissa, how you doing? Every day I hear a story about some man killing his girlfriend or killing his girlfriend or his wife and the babies too. Bobby Morgan said men taught to not deal with their emotions. Of course, shit gets piled up. Yep. Hey, Cameron, how you doing? Cameron said, you ever notice how it's more acceptable for a woman to be a lesbian than it is for a man to be gay? It says a lot if you think about it. Being feminine is considered weak and less valuable than being. I will give you that, Cameron. It is true. There is a double standard when it comes to homosexuality. Lesbians are like celebrated and gays are still, denigrated for the large part. But and then even in the gay community, there's this thing where, from what I understand, the more effeminate gays, they are basically given less value than the masculine gays. And going back to like history, if we're talking about the Greek period, it wasn't really favorable for a man to be a feminized gay, for him to be effeminate. He wasn't really even considered to be a man. So when they and the guys that were masculine but they were engaging in homosexual sex, they weren't really considered to be gay. Like basically it was the feminine ones that were gay, the masculine ones were just considered to be men. So there is this issue with gender roles and all that, and I don't want to get all into the nitty gritty with it, but I do want to talk about this one thing in particular because I've been hearing this saying circulating around quite a bit, and y'all tell me if y'all agree with me. So there's this saying, and y'all let me know if y'all heard of this saying. There's this saying, I'm gonna type it up. Men age like wine, women age like milk. Has anybody ever heard that saying? Oh, Henry said I can speak on this as a gay male. So are you talking about how the effeminate gays, they don't get as much respect? Thank you, Damie. How you doing? So you never heard of that saying, Alana? That's actually a popular saying in a lot of male circles. And yes, I don't agree with that at all. But there's also this saying about women hitting the wall. Have y'all ever heard that? Women hitting the wall after like age 30 or 35. So basically, a lot of these men believe that a woman's value goes down with age, especially when she hits age 30 or 35. But I know where they're, so Adrian, you've heard of this. So I know where they're getting this from, but they got it all twisted. So where they're getting this from is this is going back to what people used to say about a woman's fertility age. Her prime fertility years are her late teens through, I guess you would say mid 20s. So ideally, that would be the optimal time for a woman to get married, have children, all that stuff. So that's where that saying comes from, like a woman's value or whatever goes down when she hits 30 or whatever. But that is so untrue about women aging like milk, men aging like wine. I've seen so many men nowadays that just look raggedy. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on? And I don't want to make this about race, but I am going to put some race in it. I've seen a lot of black men in particular looking raggedy after age 40, it's like they just give up. They just let themselves go. So I'm like, yo, like, where is this saying coming from? Because I don't see it. I don't see all these men looking all, trim and fit. Yeah, you got some that still, keep it together or whatever, but a lot of them just let themselves go. They get raggedy, especially once they get married, get into a relationship. They want to get comfortable and shit. So it's like, yeah, these men need to stop patting themselves on the back. And I think they let the likes of George Clooney and what's that other old ass dude, Sean Connery, go to their head. Cause those are also it's a Hollywood thing too, because in Hollywood, it is true that a woman's value does go down per Hollywood. So that's where that comes from too, per age, because they tend to um put the older men, the older male actors at a higher status than the women. They tend to get more roles the older that they get or whatever like that. But yeah, I'm like, that's some bullshit. And when it comes to aging and showing age, it really deals with genetics. It's really about on an individual level. Let me see what y'all are saying. So Siobhan said that hitting the wall stuff applies to men as well. I know. Aubrey said some women still look good after 30. Hell, some women are still looking good around age 50. Javian said, I've been around men and I've never heard that saying before. Well, it's getting real popular in that MGTOW movement. Larissa said, I don't like the saying because MGTOW uses it all the time. Yup. Henry said, where did all this toxic masculinity start? Why are why did they block your comment? That's weird. All right, let me see. Natasha said, girl, one of the MGTOW channel was dragging Vivica Fox for saying she wanted a baby, but now she is old. But it's okay for a man to have a baby up until age 80, though. Miss Law said, not black women, LOL. Kamara said, that shit is a lie. Brittany Nichelle laughing. And Sarah said, men that say women go down slope after 30 have been jaded. I believe after 30, women are on their shit and have higher expectations. And what about this? How about they say that a woman doesn't really reach her prime sexually until she's in her 30s. So how could she be hitting the wall, but she's reaching her sexual prime at the same time? Like that don't go right. Miss Law said a lot of hairlines receding in my age group, right? They getting them gray beards extra early, getting that male pattern baldness all extra early. And don't let them be a drinker. Oh my God, that shit is gonna really catch up with them quick. Let me see. Shangaloo Warlord said, how about the famine coming this winter? USA lost half their crops this year. You know what, Shangaloo? You could talk about we could talk about Uranus and Taurus, because that could be a product of Uranus and Taurus doing, because Taurus deals with agriculture. So you said USA lost half their crops this year, so everyone will be getting thin around Xmas when the food is all gone. I hope that's not the case, but I wouldn't be surprised with the way this country is headed. Miss Law said, my mama 60 plus and still look like she's in her 40s. That's what I'm saying. Siobhan said, when you're in your 20s, you can't even really be trusted, right? Patrick said, hey, Rod. Hey, Patrick, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. Kamara said, I've been seeing some black men that look real worn out and weary at 30 now. I know. It's like, what's up with y'all brothers? Y'all need to take better care of yourself. But I know there's a lot of brothers that are into the healthy eating and all that stuff. So it's not all of y'all. Sandra said, I'm 44 and I'm considering going cougar. Well, do that. But some of these young boys got some issues too, though. So you might get turned off really quick. Adrian said, I'm 47 going on 48, still got it. I'm 43 years old. Do I look 43? Do I look like I hit the damn wall? No. Well, according to my opinion, I don't look like I hit the wall. Now, I do have a body of, I'll say I have a body of somebody that's in their 40s, but I don't look like I'm all busted up and looking all, messed up and all dowdy and shit. Hey, Just Size, how you doing? Now, Larissa said, do you think that today's MGTOW and feminism are on the same coin? Well, I'll say this. I think the extreme end of feminism has brought on this whole MGTOW movement. Thank you, Velvet. Hey, NYC Black Honey 9, how you doing? Yeah, so I will say that some feminists take it too far, and now men are starting to fight back, but now they're taking it too far. I feel like we always need that balance, which is basically Libra. Thank you, the Jam and Berries. Jam and Berries said these little boys are tired. Thank you, Sarah. Sarah said I look 25 today. Yeah, it's these pigtails. This is my Tony look. Like, okay, let me tell you, this has to do with my Mars and Gemini. I like to change up my hairstyle, right? So I have different names for my hairstyle. So this is Tony. And this is a Gemini season hairstyle because it's that playful pigtail. Tony with an I, not with a Y, because it's a female's name. So this is my Tony hairstyle. Patrick said, "What we talk about? We talk about the battle of the sexes and how I feel that women." Thank you, Adrian. Oh, you done made my day. And with the purple heart. Saniqua said, "Your free reading saying I could be stuck in my situation up to another 4 years when my relationship scared me so much. I finalized the process and we are finally separating our things." Well, good. Good luck to you. I hope everything works out. Henry said, "My mother would never stop changing her hair color. I wonder what an astro would call that." Aquarius can do that. So she could have some Aquarius energy, whether she's an Aquarius rising. She could have Venus in Aquarius. She could even be a 4 in terms of birth number and change her hair a lot. Hey, Lysandra, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. Lysandra said, "I got to email you. I'm slacking." Oh, yeah. Catch up with me, please, because I've been wondering what's been going on. Season, how you doing? Season said, "Most of these young girls in their 20s are built like trash, shorts too, short leggings too, see-through." I ain't gonna lie, and no offense to y'all younger generations, but y'all younger generations aren't aging too well either. I'm like, God damn. And the way some of these old-ass rappers look, not old ass rappers. The way some of these young ass rappers, they look old as shit and they look terrible. Mellow Yellow said the young men got issues due to that Capricorn Uranus Neptune conjunction. yeah. That's them Nepturanians. Cameron said the disconnect between the sexes is even worse in millennials. It's such a horrendous dynamic where the men don't respect the women properly and the women are so desperate to earn it. Yes, you got a lot of desperate women out here nowadays. They will just get booty ass naked, booty hole naked for free. Like back in the day, if you were going to be a new model, you would at least get paid for it. Nowadays, these chicks is just showing everything for free and they so desperate. Javion said, "Where I'm from, us African Americans here in Detroit look good for your age compared to the other race. I can't even go to a liquor store without having to show my ID because I don't look my age." That's what's up. Brittany said, "It's the drugs and hard partying." I agree. All that Molly, these young people taking, that Molly is catching up with them. Lysandra said, "Yeah, hate the face tattoos." I feel like that's a form of self-hate when you go and tattoo your face. Unless you're just one of those really odd, like you're just one of those really oddball characters that use tattoos for art or whatever like that. But yeah. Siobhan says some of these girls look old, all that makeup and Party City wigs. She said Party City wig. I'm done. You talk about them green wigs and the pink. And what's up with all, like, if you watch Love and Hip Hop, I'm sorry, but I think it's indicative of the what do you call it? The proliferation of mental illness that is affecting these younger generations. I really feel it. Thank you, Marquise. How you doing? Sarah said, "I feel like I look good for 37, but guys my age look like hell, right?" Patrick said, "Yeah, hard drugs will do that to you." Giggle said, "I'm a Gemini moon, so I like to switch up." That's right. Cameron said, "And then keep letting them come back after the men have proved they aren't worthy of them. Is celibacy abstinence is on the rise." Bitch Goddess said, "Do you do chart rectification? I need one for my sister. I got a great reading for you. It was very good." Yes, I do chart rectification free of charge, but I might start tacking on a extra fee for that because that is extra work. But I actually like that's my website. I actually like doing birth chart rectification. It's fun to me. But what I'll do is I'll send her a list of questions so I could determine what the rising sign is, and then I'll send a list of questions after that to determine what the degree could possibly be. Papa Ken's Corner said, "Yeah, I agree. I stopped watching Love and Hip Hop years ago. They don't show position conflict resolution. Most of them are very disillusioned. And all of them," thank you, Bitch Goddess. Hey, Bellatana. all of them, just about all of them, like when you see them, like from scene to scene, they change their hair color. They be having green hair, and I'm sorry, I'm from the old school. So all them different color hairs, different color weaves, and all that stuff. I'd be like, no offense to anybody that does that, but I'd be like, that's kind of a sign of mental instability, if you ask me. When you got to change the color of your hair every scene. Sarah said, "You are so good, you should charge for all your services, right?" But I'm a Sag, I'm extra generous, but sometimes I could be generous to a fault. Hey, Kritika, how you doing? Kritika said, "Are you happy after getting your operation? Did your body get snatched as you expected?" By the way, thanks for asking about it. So, update on my operation. So, my chin and my belly doesn't hurt anymore. I feel like I'm already seeing results with my chin. I don't know if y'all can notice, but I do feel like I'm seeing results. Actually, I do see results because usually if I'm talking like this, you could see that double chin just talking back. But yeah, so it's been almost 2 months for my chin, and they say it takes about 3 months for the results to really show. And thank you, Velvet. And then for my belly, that's going to, I should show you my belly, but I'm not that brave where I'm going to do that. But my belly, it was like, oh my God, the pain. It was bad the first couple of weeks. But now I don't feel no pain at all. There is a little bit of numbness, like when I scratch my lower belly. But other than that, I'm just waiting for those results. So I go back to the facility July 7th, I believe, so they could take after pictures and just look at my progress and all that. Season said, back in the day, a wig was a disguise, not a lifestyle. It's like, no, I don't remember who you are. Now, in terms of astrology, because astrology deals with everything in life. So, does anybody know what sign rules wigs? Anyone? Anyone? Whoever gets this answer right first, I'm gonna you get a free 1 card tarot reading. Nope, not Leo, not Aquarius. But see, if y'all go, I'm not even gonna tell. Okay, Cameron got it. Hey, Cameron got it. So Cameron, you can either ask your question right now, or you can ask it. So Cameron got it right, Pisces. You can either ask your question now, or you could just send me an email with your question, and I'll pull a card for you. I'm gonna do more of these little trivia things. Wait a minute. Giggle Smiles, you said it too? Oh yeah, you sure did. But Cameron he beat you to it though. I'm sorry. Okay, so Cameron, you'll hit me up later. Okay. Toy Doll said I'm a Pisces and Sun Sagittarius Moon. Adrian said, Rabina, you must have been reading my mind. This live discussion is on point. JS Dwayne said, hey, my intuitive sister, how you been, boo? I've been fine. How you been, JS? Where's Lucky at? Hey, Lucky. I didn't even see him come in. Oh, there you are. Hey, Lucky. Walk in the room with snacks and kush. That's what I'm talking about. But you got to have something to drink with that. What you drinking, Lucky? Thank you, Lucky. Oh, let me look at my notes and see what else I got. Oh, this is what I wanted to say too. So with Chiron and Aries, y'all, we could expect things to get worse between the sexes because these men are really going to be showing their ass with Chiron and Aries. But a lot of people could be showing their ass with Chiron and Aries too, like just wilding out sexually. And matter of fact, I'm starting to see more and more scenes of Uranus and Taurus. And then when you add Chiron and Aries in the mix, people again, you're gonna start seeing more people wilding out. Lucky said, I bought the snacks and kush. The other mod's supposed to bring the booze and the boy. JS said, I am good staying out of trouble and eating dinner. What you eating, JS? That's what I was going to ask people today, too. What are y'all eating tonight for dinner? Sunday dinner? Do y'all cook Sunday dinner? Or do y'all go out? What y'all do for Sunday dinner? I don't know what I'm gonna do for dinner. I'm the only one here. My daughter probably won't come back because she's been chilling with her boyfriend. Her boyfriend be stealing her from me all the time. I mean, I can't hate on it because I love him to death and I want that to be my son-in-law. But I'm like, God damn, can I have my daughter sometimes? But yeah, he be, and look, that's part of it. He got Venus and Mars in Capricorn. They're conjoined. So he is so in love with my daughter. He is so stuck on her, and I'm just like, it's so sweet. And he treats her like a queen. But she's a Pisces, and a lot of Pisces women have it like that. Have y'all noticed that? A lot of Pisces women can attract those good men. Some of them can attract bad men too. But a lot of them get treated like princesses or queens or whatever like that. And I feel like it's because men look at them and they see that vulnerability in a Pisces woman. And men like, for not all men, because you got them Virgo men that want a woman to be like, I'm bringing this to the plate and I work this a many hours and all this stuff. But a lot of the traditional men, and with his Mars and Venus and Capricorn, oh hell yeah, he's all into like treating her like a queen and all this stuff. He's so chivalrous and he's so romantic. Like he'll be just planning dates for them, like for the weekend and stuff. Like, we gonna go hiking, we gonna go here, we gonna go here, we gonna go to First Fridays and stuff. I'm like, I love this boy. He's a man, but I still call him a boy. He's a boy in my eyes because he's young, but he's 21. So I just want to give a shout out to him. I'm not gonna mention his name, but yeah, I want that to be my son-in-law. I really do. So I hope they really work out. Bellatina said, with Chiron and Aries, would people be trying to achieve independence in some way, freedom from something, fighting for change? I could just feel so much change in the works from here on out. Yes, definitely. People are going to be struggling for more, or I'll say they'll be trying to express more of their individuality, but sometimes in the worst way, because Chiron can deal with like where you act up, where you try to get over, where you try to buck the system, where you don't want to play by the rules. So we could see, with that Chiron and Aries, the powers that be will probably start attacking gun rights. And we did have that shooting. Wasn't there a shooting in the school recently? Yes, Aries. So yeah, imagine with Chiron and Aries, people's ego can really get out of control. Okay, let me see what else. Velvet Rose said, I have Neptune in the first and I get treated like a princess. Yup, because they see that vulnerability and they see that sensitive side to you. Hey, Tamika. Tamika said, hi, I love your channel. I'm kind of new to astrology. So I have Moon in Scorpio, Sun in Cancer. What does that mean? That means you're drowning in all that damn water, baby. And I heard that I'm in a second decan Cancer as well. So that second decan of Cancer is Scorpio. So that reinforces your Moon in Scorpio. So you really have the ability to attract men really easily, number one, with that Scorpio, Moon, Cancer, Sun. You also have some strong psychic ability, and you have the ability to really affect positive change in the lives of others. So you might be drawn to either nursing or psychology, something like in the field of mental health, some type of caretaker, what have you, like that. And you may end up playing the role of mother to someone else's child. Not saying that you're going to adopt a child, but you might be a godmother. You might be, you might just be looking after somebody's child. My sad girlfriend is into money too much. I'm a pervert, says Fletcher Stanley. Hey, lady. Hey, Fletcher, how you doing? Hey, Katrina. Hey, Latanya. So we got 72 people in here. If we could get these likes up, please. The thought of it said, hi, Rob from South Jersey. I'm from South Jersey. How you doing? Good old South Jersey. Divine Vibe said, Chiron is right on my full moon. Who else we got up in here? But what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So just with Chiron and Aries, it's just things can really get out of hand, especially in terms of hyper masculinity, but also just in terms of people's ego orientation. Hey, Akeda, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. I'm just laying on the floor. I am comfy, and I got my ASU socks on. My daughter goes to ASU. But what was I gonna okay, so with Uranus and Taurus, I'm already starting to see the fuckery unfold in terms of people just wilding out. So one of the things I said about Uranus and Taurus was you're gonna start seeing people like doing crazy, inappropriate shit. Like more people doing crazy and inappropriate shit outdoors, right out in the open. And I was on my Tumblr page. Thank you, King of Hearts. Hey, Lasha, how you doing? I was on my Tumblr page, and I was scrolling. I saw this one clip and it was this black woman giving head to a white dude, and they were outside of a business, a building, a corporate building. Like they were right out in the open. Oh, I'm sure they were getting paid to do it. Oh, unless you're talking, I'm not sure if you're talking about that, Lucky. But they were right up where the windows were, where people who were in the office could see them. And all I was thinking was Uranus and Taurus. This is Uranus and Taurus all day, but you could couple Chiron and Aries in there too. But my mouth was just wide open, and I was just like, "Yo, here's the sign of the times. People don't give a fuck no more." And of course, they look like they were from that younger generation. Lucky said they recorded themselves and posted online. They're getting paid to do it. I wouldn't be surprised, because there are the evils that be that really want to dismantle the moral fabric of the society. Tony Jackson said, "Hey, love the videos. I hate some of the stuff about Pisces, but I am learning things. I need to change. Keep up the good work." Speaking of that, there was some chick that was so butthurt over my Dark Side of Pisces video. She called herself Reading Me. Thank you, Divine. Divine said she loves my rings. She called herself Reading Me. She was talking about how my makeup was ugly, my hair was. She said something. I was just like that. That was just cracking me up. But she wrote like 3 paragraphs, and she was like, "Yeah, some of the stuff you're saying is true, but I am not this and I am not that." And she was like, "And since you want to be such a bitch," I was just. And the thing is, I don't even read most of those old comments anymore. I mean, comments from my old videos, because it's so much. But she was so butthurt, and I was like, "Wow, you're just basically confirming what I said in the damn video." Hey, Zawina, how you talking about? We're talking about, well, we started off talking about the battle of the sexes, mainly with the issue where there's people that believe that men age like wine and women age like milk. And I was saying that's some bullshit. Hey, Tanya, how you doing? Hey, old school Aqua. Wait a minute. King of Hearts said, "But I bet you could fuck her man, though." Like I would want to fuck his diseased dick. Okay. Tushy Time said, "Or did that happen again?" Akeda said, "Crowley's Aeon of Horus is here, the petulant child." Akeda's always bringing some esoteric knowledge up in here, so I appreciate that. I agree. That whole Uranus and Taurus is going to foster that whole do what thou wilt, and so will Chiron and Aries as well. So it's like Uranus and Taurus will upset common decency, because Taurus does deal with decency. It deals with standards. Jack Stop said, "How did your daughter get into really? That's whack. You're corny. You're out of here too." Let me see. Hi user from channel. Oh, that must be a racist up in here. I don't know if anybody saw that, but he said something about, do they accept EBT? How did your daughter get into ASU? Wow. So you talking about my daughter now? Okay. Okay. Karma gonna bite you in the ass for that one. All right. Kata said, "Gay is passe. Here come the furries and the GMO humans." Velvet Rose said, "Oh, hell no." Lucky said, "Don't even address that troll." Yeah. That just like really caught me off guard, because I'm like, wow, you talking about my daughter? Like, these trolls will take any opportunity. But my daughter got a heart of gold. That's why that karma gonna come back and bite his ass today. It's going down today. You best believe. Because my daughter is an angel. So that's my word. My word is bonds. Hello. Yes. That's right. Karma don't play. And all I got to do is speak it into existence, because I have that type of connection with the universe. All I got to do is speak it into existence. You best believe he going to be regretting what he said later on tonight. Mellow Yellow says, "So will the Taurus act up?" Some of them might, when Uranus lands on their sun, like they might start doing things that are, not accustomed to their regular behavior, or that is not, indicative of their regular behavior. They might just, like, somebody with a Taurus, once Uranus lands on their sun, if they've been married for 10 years, they might wake up and be like, "I've been living a lie all my life. I'm going to get a divorce." Akeda said, "Rabina, what's your feeling on the July 2nd eclipse and Mercury retrograde?" That's a good question because I haven't even like considered that eclipse yet because I don't even really get into eclipses like that. But let me look at my transit calendar. Da-da-da-da. So that's a lunar eclipse happening on July 16th at the 24th degree of Capricorn. And let's see. Mercury, when is Mercury going retrograde? Chiron goes retrograde on July 8th. Mercury goes retrograde on July 7th. That lunar eclipse in Capricorn, you could this like there could be some suicides that go down around that time if somebody's already depressed, and let's say they got Saturn in Capricorn, that eclipse falls on that Saturn. So I don't want to get all bleak and shit, but a lot of times I tend to dwell on the negative because that's just my Capricorn energy. Hey, Ethereal, how you doing? Thank you. Kritika, I'm afraid to watch Black Mirror because of that one episode. But yeah, I heard that they be talking about a lot of what is going to happen in the future or whatever. It's about a lot of futuristic dystopian transhumanism stuff. Kritika asked, "Did I watch Black Mirror yet?" But I might watch it. Thank you. I love Lucy. Ness Williams said Taurus and the Uranus thing seems to have put me in a relationship isolation. But let's not forget about Neptune and Pisces. I'm glad you said that because that made me remember what else is on my list. Neptune and Pisces. Neptune has been in Pisces for quite a while. Let me see when it first entered Pisces. (2011). No, that can't be right. Hold on. 2011 to 2026. Was it that? Why does it seem like it was earlier? So 2011 to 2025, it's saying here, but this website saying 2011 to 2026. But I did want to talk about the transit of Neptune in Pisces because that is responsible for a lot of what's going on. And I think we tend to overlook Neptune in Pisces. Thank you, Lucky. Lucky said my neck looks smaller. Thank you. I am seeing results with my chin. All right, let me see. Thank you, Kritika. Kritika said she loves my bracelet. Miss Law said there's been a lot of depth. Let me see. Wait a minute. Akita said there's a solar eclipse. How did I miss that? Hold on. July 2nd. There it is. 10 degrees Cancer. Because I was looking for the solar eclipse because I know there's always a solar and a lunar in the same month. But I totally passed right by it. So the solar eclipse will occur, like Akita said, on July 2nd, 10 degrees Cancer. I really don't get into eclipses like that unless it's falling on one of my personal planets. But this one right here is going to be very close to my descendant, 10 degrees Cancer. My descendant's at 11 degrees Cancer. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But I don't put too much stock into eclipses unless it's affecting somebody directly, like it's on their ascendant, it's on their moon or sun or whatever like that. But eclipses can deal with worldwide events as well. And the events stemming from the eclipse could be a year or even more into the future. Thank you, Ness. Marquise said, Rabina, I always love you the way you are. Thank you. I love you just the way you are. Y'all know that song, Don't Go Changing to Try to Please Me. Okay, let me go back to this Black Mirror thing because yeah, I haven't watched it, but there was this one episode on Black Mirror that I heard about that, and let me not lose my thought about Neptune and Pisces. But there's one episode that I heard about that where this politician had to have sex with a pig, and I'm very squeamish about stuff like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there was an episode like that, and stuff like that scares me, so I can't bring myself to watch that. Let me see what else. Erudite said, does a North Node in midheaven in Scorpio indicate potential suicide death? Not necessarily at all. There would have to be other indicators. Sarah said, Henry W., thank you for bringing that up. What are the planetary indicators for depression? Saturn is always going to be in the mix. Capricorn too. So Saturn and Capricorn, Saturn's the planet of depression. Capricorn is the sign of depression. So if you have Sun square Saturn, you're prone to depression. Moon square Saturn, even Sun could join to Saturn in some cases. Moon could join to Saturn. If you have Venus square Saturn, a relationship or a breakup could send you into depression. Or you just may not be able to derive pleasure out of the order, or I'll say satisfaction or fulfillment out of the ordinary pleasures in life with that Venus square Saturn. So you need a little bit something more. Yes, Sarah, sex with a pill. I said pill, pig. Hey, Victorious V. Yeah, I won't be on this live stream too long because I gotta do a reading tonight. And I wonder if he's still in here because he was in here too, the one I'm doing a reading for. Video natal chart reading. But yeah, let's talk about Neptune and Pisces because I don't feel like Neptune and Pisces is given enough credit in terms of the havoc that it's wreaking upon this earth. So with Neptune and Pisces, basically this world has become a circus. And it's like at this point where anything goes. Yeah, Aubrey's still here. It's at this point where anything goes. And believe it or not, Pisces and Neptune represent Satanism. It represents all forms of spirituality, including Satanism. So the dark side of Neptune and Pisces would be Satanism. So just think about some of these sayings and it makes a lot of sense. Now, I know Satan is basically Saturn, but guess what? They say that Saturn rejoices when in Pisces, or Saturn rejoices when in the 12th house, and the 12th house is very much like Pisces because it's like, again, it's like that Pisces is like anything goes. There's no boundaries. You could do whatever you want. You can dream up whatever you want. And the whole magic component. So, you know, a lot of Satanists are into black magic and stuff like that. But just think about some of the sayings that are associated with the devil. And it makes a lot of sense with this whole Neptune and Pisces. So you've heard of the saying, the devil is a liar. Let me write this down. The devil is a liar, and guess what? Pisces and Neptune is deals with lies. Also, have you ever heard of the devil is the author of confusion? And Neptune and Pisces is definitely having a lot of people confused. So there's a lot of confusion going on in the world. A lot of again, it's like this world has become a circus. I watch a lot of political videos and stuff like that. And I'm going to get into one guy in particular and talk about his chart. His name is Jordan Peterson. Let me write his name down. So some of you guys might have heard of Jordan Peterson. He's a clinical psychologist and also a professor, and he's very popular on YouTube. And also he's very controversial in terms of his views and stuff like that. But why was I bringing Jordan Peterson up? Damn, I'm all over the place. But anyway, back to what I was saying about Neptune and Pisces. Oh yeah. So when I'm like looking at some of these videos on YouTube, especially videos about crazy things going on in the world. Hey, SMA, especially about crazy things going on in the world. I noticed that a lot of people in the comments section are saying like this world is crazy now. This world don't seem the same. Things are getting like just things are out of control. All that. Well, you could very much attribute that to Neptune and Pisces influence. Thank you, Dana. How you doing? I'm glad so many people are joining me on a Sunday afternoon. And while we're at it, did anybody tell me what they're having for dinner tonight? Anybody make a Sunday dinner? I love to talk about food. That's my Taurus South Node. Who's making Sunday dinner tonight? And is that a tradition in your house? Or has that tradition died out? I know it's died out in my house. I don't do no Sunday dinner like every now and then maybe. Victorious V said greens and peel off rights. Hey, Natasha. Thank you for the super chat. I'm glad you mentioned Lilith because I'm going to bring up, Lilith is on my list too. So Lilith and Pisces can deal with where you feel like an outcast, you're being isolated, and it could be because you are misunderstood. But it can also mean that you got some sexual fantasies that you want to live out, but maybe you're afraid to express yourself in that way. Because Lilith does have a strong sexual component. Sarah said, yes, things are crazy. You're welcome. Henry said, had Sunday dinner earlier. It's 10:09 p.m. What did you have, Henry? Giggle said, white rice, chicken peas. Dana said, you know I don't cook much. But still, what you have for dinner? Kata said, there's a new show called Age Gap Love that's normalizing pedo stuff. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, with Neptune and Pisces, it's like anything goes. Hey, Sag, how you doing? Thank you. Susan said chicken, black beans with salsa and sour cream. That sounds so good. I love me some sour cream. Sarah said, I've got BLT wraps going on tonight with some seasoned fries with homemade ranch. Oh, homemade ranch. Okay, excuse me. Homemade ranch? Oh, wow. I'm going to have to get that ranch recipe from you. Kritika said, I had french fries. So it seems like people are having a light dinner today. Is it because of the heat? Dana said salmon, maybe. Natasha said, I'm having halibut with lemon butter sauce. Damn, that sounds good. That lemon butter sauce on fish, rice, and broccoli. I could go for a nice piece of fish. Siobhan said, okra gumbo with rice. Hello. Old school Aqua said, ribeye, steak, fried rice. Victoria said, I'm craving avocados and celery and artichokes. Oh, look at you, want to be all healthy and shit. Lucky said, nah, because we tired. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention about Lilith. So, Lilith goes back to a myth, right? And the other day I was watching some video on astrology, I think, or something, and somebody had mentioned no, it was a video on Hoodoo. I forget her name. Not Mystic at the Crossroads. That's somebody different, but y'all might follow her. Hey, Miss Ray Sons, how you doing? It was another woman that does like magic and stuff like that. And she put out a video saying, Dana, I'm about to get to that. She put out a video saying that Lilith was Adam's first wife. And my first reaction, and of course I've heard this myth already, but my first reaction was Lilith really Adam's first wife? Because I have a hard time believing that. And of course, the whole Adam and Eve story is a myth as well. We can't confirm that this was actually true. But there she is, Papa Ken. Yeah. But there's this saying that, and I'm not knocking her in any way. I subscribe to her. I love her channel. She gives out a lot of great advice and stuff like that. So I'm not, talking trash about her or anything. I'm just saying, seeing her video made me think of Lilith, about that myth where she was Adam's first wife. And I'm like, that don't add up. Like, that don't make sense. So, of course, me and my research self, I got Scorpio in the midheaven with my North Node in Scorpio. So I'm always conducting research. So I look back into the whole, because I wanted to see the origin of the Lilith myth and how they associated it with Adam's first wife. So I found out that it was the Jews that created that myth about Lilith being Adam's first wife. And the reason why they did that was because there's two creation stories in the Old Testament, in the Bible, in Genesis. There's one creation story where it says God created Adam, and then Adam didn't have anybody, and then he created Eve out of the rib. But then there's another creation story that says, no, God created Adam, like he created them in his own image, male and female. So this is a myth created by the Jews simply to clear up a discrepancy or to cover up a discrepancy. So the whole thing about Adam having a first wife or having two wives and one was Lilith, that is just something that the Jews made up. And again, they made it up because there was this discrepancy. He said Talmudic Bill. There was this discrepancy about the two creation stories. So I was like, wow, my skepticism is on point. Now, why am I saying ideally? But originally, let's keep it real. Originally, Lilith was a demon. So let me just read a little bit about Lilith and the demonic Lilith. And that's one thing you definitely need to always keep in mind about Lilith. And I'm talking about the 3 Liliths in astrology, because the myth of Lilith is very much associated with the 3 Liliths. So you got the asteroid Lilith, that's the one I place the most stock in. But then you got Black Moon Lilith, I place stock in that, and then you got Dark Moon Lilith. But they all focus on the same theme. So Lilith, female demonic figure of Jewish folklore, her name and personality are thought to be derived from the class of Mesopotamian demons called Lilu. Oh shoot, that's like from the Fifth Element movie. Do y'all remember that Fifth Element movie? Wait a minute, wasn't that the Fifth Element movie where the girl with the red hair and she had the bandages on, like she didn't have hardly nothing on, it was just bandages? Wasn't her name Lilu? But anyway, let me go back. Okay, and the name is usually translated as night monster. A cult associated with Lilith survived among some Jews as late as the 7th century CE. The evil she threatened, especially against children and women in childbirth, that's very big. So Lilith can represent abortions, it can represent miscarriages, stillbirths. So the evil she threatened, especially against children and women in childbirth, was said to be counteracted by wearing an amulet bearing the names of certain angels. So just to reiterate, Lilith was originally a demon that the Jews basically talked about and all wrote about all that stuff. It wasn't until later on that they, when they determined, oh, there's a discrepancy with the creation story, that they just said, okay, well, we're going to make Lilith Adam's first wife, when Lilith was never originally intended to be that. So in rabbinic literature, Lilith is variously depicted as the mother of Adam's demonic offspring following his separation from Eve, or his first wife, whereas Eve was created from Adam's rib. Some accounts hold that Lilith was the woman implied in Genesis 1:27 and was made from the same soil as Adam. Insolently refusing to be subservient to her husband, Lilith left Adam in the perfection of the Garden of Eden. 3 angels tried in vain to force her return. Mind you, this is not in the Bible. This story was created by the Jews to make up for the discrepancy of the 2 creation stories. Now, there's an article, this is not the article I read where they actually explain how they inserted Lilith into the creation story. But know that the creation stories came first, and then they inserted the whole Lilith theme in there. Now, Lilith left Adam in the perfection of the Garden of Eden. And this all ties into Gemini season anyway, because remember the first live stream I did during Gemini season, I talked about Adam and Eve. So this is like a continuation. So 3 angels tried in vain to force her return. According to some mythologies, her demonic offspring were sired by an archangel named Samiel and were not Adam's progeny. Those children are sometimes identified as incubi and succubi. So they're basically saying that Lilith's children that she had with Adam were demonic, and they turned. Hey, Denise, thank you. They turned. Yeah, Gina. Yup. They turned into succubi and incubi, which is interesting. Now, so just this shows you that when it comes to mythology, you got to really go back to the original story, because mythology, just like the Bible, can be interpreted in different ways. And there will be times where people will change things up, change stories up like that. But the bottom line is Lilith is not really a positive influence in terms of astrology. Lilith, speaking of Lilith said, I remember some woman told Katy Perry's father that she was fucking a demon. Manuel said the Jews were also followers of the Babylon mystery religion. That's very true, Manuel. And that's how they ended up breaking off into this sect called the Sabbatarians, or am I saying it right? The Sabbatarians. And the Sabbatarians, they were engaged in black magic and witchcraft and all this stuff, and they believed that if they did evil upon this earth, they would bring forth the Messiah quicker. Like, it's some twisted shit. But that's part of the reason why you still have some Jews that are bent upon destroying the moral fabric of society. And when I talk about Jews, I'm mainly talking about the ones that, and I'm skating on thin ice here talking about Jews because you know how they could be hypersensitive, but they do run Hollywood. Let's be real, and they just have this agenda in terms of destroying the moral fabric of the society. But historically, they've been like that wherever they've gone, which is why they say you're an anti-Semite. I'll talk about history. But yeah, I could be accused as an anti-Semite just by saying this. But throughout history, they've been kicked out of like basically every country that they've tried to set up shop in because they were historically known to engage in a lot of debauchery and basically engage in a lot of like demonic practices and all types of stuff. Lilith said, why does it seem like celebs have so much experiences with demons? Well, exactly what I'm talking about. In Hollywood, that shit runs wild, like just the dark magic and all that type of stuff. They're very much into that. And like I said, I'm not talking about all Jews, but there's been a sect of Jews that have broken off from the regular Jews, and they are known as the Ashkenazi Jews, and they're bent upon, and they run Hollywood, and they're bent upon destroying the moral fabric of the society, and they do it in a number of ways. Emmanuel said the Jews were the ones who started the persecution against Christianity. And did y'all know that the Jews had a big hand in the slave trade? They were the ones that were owning the ports, I believe. Like, I believe they owned one of the main ports in Baltimore where they were dropping the slaves off for them to be auctioned out. So throughout history, you know, there's been a lot of negative things said about the Jews, but it's not for a good reason. And again, I'm not talking about all Jews. I'm talking about the ones that are in control. And we all know about Israel and all that stuff and how they basically claimed Israel as their own, but that was Palestine to begin with. And but they claim, because they are claiming that they're the original Jews from the Bible, but they're not. Pluto Astrology said, I fuck with the Jews. I need that back. You know what? I agree. Like, if you need a lawyer, the best lawyer to contact is a Jewish lawyer, because they're going to make sure you get that money at the end of the day, or they're going to make sure that you come out on top. So there are some good things about them, especially in terms of like, if you want to come up in the game, if you want to make some money, connect with a Jewish person, because they're all about getting that money. They're ruled by Capricorn. So that should tell you something. Larissa said, not to hurt you or anyone else, but if I were you, I would not say anything negative about Jews because many YouTube channels have been terminated. Yeah, I'm not even saying anything negative about them. I'm talking about historically. And it is a fact that Jews dominate several industries, including Hollywood. It's just a fact. But Kritika said, do you think voodoo is evil? And is it real? Oh, I don't believe voodoo is evil at all. It's a religion that deals with different spiritual entities, and it goes back to Africa. And I do believe it's very real. Very real. Robin said, my Lilith is in the 7th house, and I always had revenge on my exes. Pure evil, how these energies work. NYC Black Honey said, can Lilith and Virgo attract STDs? Not in particular, but it can deal with where, you know, perhaps you attract somebody that wants you to be like their sexual servant. And you could have problems at your job. Like, you could have problems with coworkers and things like that. Because Lilith, in terms of the meaning, can also deal with where you're seen as an outcast, where you are treated as a pariah in society. And that does go back to the whole mythology of Lilith being cast out of the garden. Or no, I don't think she was cast out. Let me go back to this story. Was she ran off? Yeah, she left him. But then in the fact of leaving him, she was given that negative connotation. So I've seen Lilith pop up in charts of sex offenders. So Pluto Astrology said, big head ass looking sexy with them pigtails. I'll take that compliment, especially because it got some humor in it. But damn, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I've seen Lilith be prominent in the charts of sex offender, like people that are on the sex offender list, because that can represent, again, because you're considered to be a pariah of society, you are considered to be an outcast. Nobody wants to fuck with you. So yeah, sex offenders could have Lilith prominent in their charts. Whether it's on the ascendant, it could be conjoined to their south node, it could be conjoined to their Mars or whatever like that. Thank you, Shauna. Maybe I should do the pigtails more often. As I was saying earlier, this is my Tony hairstyle. Toni. Whatever you want, girl. Lucky said we always venture into the dark side on this live. Yeah. Who's Angelica? Oh, the Rugrats. I remember Angelica. Oh, thank you. Robin says, seen many sex offenders with Virgo energy, especially Mars and the Pluto generation of it as well. Virgo is a huge indicator, and guess what? They had Lilith in Virgo as well. Yes, it makes sense because Virgo deals with being integrated into society. So with Lilith in Virgo, that means that you can't be successfully integrated into society because you're on the sex offender list. Who wants to live near a sex offender? Like nobody. Thank you, Lucky. Baby Nemo said my best friend was date raped by a Virgo. Damn. The Sankofa community said, now I have to check my natal chart. What are you on the sex offender list, Sankofa? Don't be telling your business up in here like that. Deviance. He said, yes, Lilith can very well deal with deviance. It can also deal with sexual liberation as well. So let's say somebody got Mars conjoined to Lilith, they could be very sexually liberated. We're not coming down hard on Virgo today. They get enough flack. They really do. But God damn it, they earn it. Let me stop because I know I got some Virgos in here. Don't they earn it though? Virgo be earning that negative. They be earning that negative reputation though. Gypsy Vibes that I have a Virgo ascendant. But let's talk about Gemini though and some of Gemini's negative traits. Wait a minute. Let me see. And I wanted to do a little Mars and Cancer blast from the past, and I wanted to get into a little 80s talk. So we'll do that in a minute too. But let's talk about the dark side of Gemini for a minute. And I know we talked about the dark side of Gemini during my last live stream, but there are some things about Gemini that can really irk me. Like he said, now wait, Rob. The moon be squaring you right now and dumping on them as per had to happen. Let me see. Captain Subliminal said Geminis are not dark. Yeah, you must be a Gemini. Oh my God, Sag. Stop it. Miss Law said they have a long list of negative traits. Shifty as hell. Change up in a blink of an eye. Don't know whether they're coming or going. Don't know whether things are black or white. Want to argue with you at every turn. Will just say anything out their goddamn mouth. Don't care the kids are in the room and nothing. Miss Law said she lying. LMAO. Gemini's ghost fast. Oh man, don't get me started. And that's another thing. Gemini, some of them can be very sexual, but some of them not so much. Because I remember one time I was with this one Gemini dude, and we were kicking it for quite a while. And I remember I wanted to get busy with him, and he just kept me up the whole night talking. And I was just like, God damn, like, can you shut your mouth and pull down your goddamn pants? Like, so yeah, Gemini, sometimes they're just too much in their head. He was talking nonstop, like all night long. All night long. I'm gonna give it to you, give it to you, give it to you, give it to you. But they ain't talking about sex, they talk about their mouth. I'm gonna give it to you, give it to you, give it to you, give it to you. And I don't remember. He had his son in Gemini. I don't think he has Mars in Gemini. I'm too nice. I should have just pulled him into the room. But yeah, he just was, and he just talked himself to sleep. I was like, God damn. Sings loud and off key to drown out the lies. Geminis are crazy. Yesterday in class, a Gemini gay dude straight told some straight dude that he wanted to fuck him in front of the teacher. I told you they don't got a filter. They say whatever the fuck they want to say. They don't care who's around. The dark sided ones, I'm saying. Gemini women are greatness unless they become mothers. Ooh! It's like I'm just playing, y'all. I'm just roasting Geminis right now. Gypsy Vibe said I can't talk about Gemini. I'm an Aquarius. Something's got me so excited, baby. Yup. Lucky said Geminis are serial flirts. But they could just flirt just because they just flirt. But a lot of times they ain't even trying to do nothing with that flirting. Natasha said, my mom is a Gemini. I'm sorry for talking about your mom and Natasha. Miss Long said Geminis are crazy until real crazy shows up. That's Sagittarius. Okay, let's say who would win in a fight, Sag or Gemini, and why? Let's do Gemini versus Sag in a fight. Who's winning? And of course, we're talking about in general. Hey, Fundamentals, born May 31st. Who's winning? Sag would win, obvious. I'll go with Sag. Gemini will try to talk their way out of it. Pluto says Sag is winning the fight. Miss Law says Sag hands down. Lucky said Gemini Sag will burn out. Adrian says Sag will win hands down. Krutika says Sag be spitting literally. Hell nah, Gemini. Wait. Yo, this is going too fast. And damn, I have it on top chat, and I mean to have it on live chat, so I haven't been seeing some of your comments, y'all. I'm sorry. Hey, melanated Gemini. Sarah said Geminis are crazy. Virgo raised by a single Gemini mother. She pisses me off. Gemini got them hands. Yeah, and they can be quick, but Sag will just come with everything they have and pounce on you. Gypsy says Sag is a beast. Yes. Miss Law says Sages are powerful people. And we have this anger that's just like, our anger is no match for Gemini. So if it's a regular fight, then maybe Gemini has a match, but not when Gemini gets angry. I mean, not when Sagittarius gets angry, because Gemini, their anger really doesn't have that fire like Sagittarius does. Lucky says Sag just talks loud. Now, what about Gemini versus Virgo? Who's winning that fight? Gemini versus Virgo. Who's winning? I'm going with Virgo. Why I say Virgo? Because Virgo is the sign of boxing. It's a sign of martial arts. It's a sign of pugilism, all that. So yeah, you never know when a Virgo might have some skills. A lot of them do got skills like that. Sometimes they don't even got to have Sun in Virgo, just Mars and Virgo alone. They don't taking some martial arts classes. Virgo be about that technique. Yes. Most people are saying Virgo. Wow. Virgo will bring the business. Brittany said, I'm a Virgo Mars. Yes. Melanie Gemini said, Mom and sis are Virgo. So they be whooping your ass. They were whooping your ass back in the day, Melanie Gemini. I was going to talk about Venus and Gemini because Venus is currently in Gemini right now. Let's see. Sag Brown said, how does Virgo rule those? Are you talking about martial arts? Because Virgo deals with the full integration of the body. Yeah, we could get into Virgo right now. Like Virgo is the full integration of all the body parts. It also deals with fitness. It also deals with technique and skill. And Virgo deals with the hands. So just think about, you need to use your hands when you're boxing, when you're playing when you're engaging in martial arts, all that. And Virgo can be very much disciplined when it comes to training and all that. Boxing and martial arts requires a lot of training and discipline, and Virgo's very, fit for that. But it's really coming down to that technique and the full integration of the body, because that's what that Virgo 6th house is. So it's like, I was saying this to one of my students the other day. I was like, Virgo and the sixth house. That's where you get your act together. But that's also where you have the full integration of all your body parts and stuff coming together, and where you're supposed to operate efficiently. But if you got some Virgo energy and it's afflicted, or if you got a messed up sixth house, you might not be whole, because Virgo deals with being whole in the physical sense. So, the whole term is the person's not whole. They can either not be whole physically or not be whole mentally. So if you got some fucked up energy in your sixth house, you may not be whole either physically or mentally. Same with Virgo. And martial arts is all about that holistic type of learning and fighting and all that type of stuff. It's about mind, body, and soul, incorporating all of that. Lilith said Virgos ain't mentally well. Well, a lot of them are, a little touched in the head, and it's because they're ruled by Mercury. So you got to give them a little, leeway on that. They can't really help it. Virgo gets easily disturbed mentally. Yes, neurotic. That's one of the key words for Virgo. Pluto Astrology said makes sense. I dance, box, rap, tattoo with my Mars and Virgo. If you want to be perfect, that's the placement. Yes. Yes, you got to work hard though. Too much energy. But Virgo is built for it. And Virgo needs stuff like that. If Virgo doesn't have constructive things to do, Virgo, that energy will turn in on itself. Thank you, Cerebral. That energy will turn in on itself and it will manifest as illness, whether it's mental illness or whether it's physical illness. Or they'll just be a source of stress for other people. So, like, you got a little Virgo baby or a little Virgo child and they're starting to act up, just give them something constructive to do. That's what they really want. Have them do the dishes. I don't care if they're 4 years old. Get a stool or whatever, show them how to do it or whatever. They will actually like that shit. So you got to give Virgo something to do. When they start being all like, yeah. Matter of fact, I was in Target last night and this baby was screaming bloody murder. And I was like, that got to be a Cancer or a Virgo baby. Because that baby was just acting a fool. I'm glad none of my kids acted like that in the store. First of all, I don't care if they were 6 months old. I wasn't having it. My kids just knew not to act up like that. And if they did act up, I remember there was one time when my oldest daughter wanted to act crazy in the store, and I just took her out in the parking lot, and I gave her a little bit of the business. And that was the last time she ever did something like that. But yeah, I don't play. Like, I don't understand these parents that be letting their kids just cry at the top of their lungs in a store. You go to Target, you always gonna hear some baby or some kid. I didn't play that shit with my kids. Cause I'm like, that's rude, number one. And I got 3 children, but when I hear some kid screaming at the top of their lungs, I'd be like, that's the Capricorn in me. I'd be like, oh, like, do something, take it away. Right? You want to smack the shit out of that whole family, Bellatina said, right? Lucky said, my child better think twice. Because kids will test you until you let them know how the deal is, because they will test you when they get into the store. Sarah said, Virgo here dealing with constant fighting and depression. We don't back down, but we rather handle our shit. Neurotic is the perfect word for us. We don't play, yup. Robin said, probably a Gemini or Aqua mom not caring about their kids. I can't see an Aqua mom putting up with that, though. Awkward Letter said, my Aries brother used to do that. Oh, and I'm the type of mom, like, if my kid wants to throw a tantrum, like, they didn't, like, I wouldn't allow that in the store, but when they would act stupid at home like that, I would just mock them. And I would act stupid right with them. I'd be like, life is so hard. And then they would get mad, but they would stop because they would see how ridiculous they look. Karen said, hell no, Aquarius parents are no joke, right? Karen, we both got Aquarian parents. We know they don't tolerate that shit. Old school Aqua said, no, we do not play that. Exactly. Cerebral said, I make the same faces. I'm a Scorpio sun. Velvet Rose said, yup, mirroring works. Zuena said, can you do a parent-child relationship? I sure can one day. Hey, Karmic Life, how you doing? Sagittarius don't play that shit either. Like in terms of a child acting up like that in the store, we will get indignant quick. Baby Nemo said Cancer parents don't play either. Victorious V said my mom's a Virgo. So who in here lets their kids just run wild? Actually, let me stop, because I remember my little Sagittarius son. He used to trick me, and he used to be like, when he was little, he'd be like, "Mom," he was like, "I could walk," because I would have him in the cart, like in the front part. He'd be like, this when he was like 3 years old. He'd be like, "Mom, can I get out the cart?" He'd be like, "I can walk," and I'd be like, "No," because as soon as I let you out this car, you gonna tear down that aisle. So he'd be like, "No, I'm not." So every now and then I would let him out of that car. He would go tearing down that aisle. I would have to go after him. Oh my God. So he would test me like that. But who in here be letting their kids just act a fool in the store, crying at the top of their lungs, all that? Anybody want to admit that? Ari says, sounds like my brother. And what signs would y'all say are the worst acting kids? I would definitely add Aries in there. I would say Aquarius in terms of them being rebellious. And I'm talking about little kids, not like, not like 9 and 10-year-old. I'm talking about like the 3-year-olds, the 4-year-old. Lucky said Leo, yeah, probably for the drama and the attention. Little Cancer children, definitely. Like I said, I think that that baby in the store was a Cancer all day, because it was screaming bloody murder. Yashika Jones said Cancer. BB Nemo said Cancer kids, and Gemini. Gemini will just have a lot of mouth. And Gemini kid will make you want to smack them with their questions and shit. And a Gemini little kid will just go up to a fat person and be like, "You're fat." Gypsy Vice said Gemini hyper as fuck. Adrian said, not my kids knew that they would feel my wrath. Water cry babies. Right? I can't take that smart mouth shit either. Matter of fact, I was watching this show. Y'all let me know if y'all ever seen this show on Netflix. She's Gotta Have It. It's on season 2. And I was going to talk about my thoughts about that show too, if enough people have watched that show. But on that show, there was these kids, and they was all like, this one little boy. Now he must have been like 12 or whatever, but he was all questioning his parent on the show, and I was like, "Oh hell no! I don't care if I'm in the wrong. You ain't questioning me like that." Siobhan said, my Taurus sun, Pisces moon, crybaby daughter. Oh, yeah, the Pisces moons will be crybabies. But I can't see a Pisces moon child just acting a fool, like with a temper tantrum, no. Lucky said, Taurus, when they hungry or want something you can't afford. NYC Black Honey said, I'm a Gemini mom and I step right over my Pisces son and keep fucking walking. Right? I see that. That is how a Gemini mom would be. Yup. Ethereal said Aries all day. Pisces moon, old souls. Yup. Lucky said Gemini will snoop through your shit and tear stuff up out of curiosity. The little Pisces babies, they love to get into shit. Like they'll get into the Vaseline and smear it all over their face. They'll get into the peanut butter and put it all over their face and shit, thinking they putting makeup on. That should be funny as hell. Grown Aries can be a handful. Aubrey said I was like that. Siobhan says she a crybaby, but don't act a fool. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Pisces moon children really aren't going to act a fool, though. What about Scorpio children? Scorpio children be like, "You're not my mom," when they're mad. I hate you. I want to die. That's how they be. I want to die. I wish you were dead. You're not my sister. Miss Law said, my Scorpio's a sweetheart. Intense thinker, Scorpio. Scorpio loves darkness and will plot. My older brother used to say stuff like that when he was little. You're not my mom. You see what I mean? Scorpio teens are something else. Yeah, they are. Scorpio babies are sweet. The girl from, yeah, just don't get on their bad side. The girl from The Exorcist was a Scorpio child. Gary said, that's my sister. She said, I'm not her brother when she was bad. Oh, yeah, they would have canceled your ass out. Somebody said, can't stand grown Scorpio, though. I can't be in a relationship, Siobhan said. They play around too much. Manuel said, Scorpio girls are drama queens. That's a good topic. Kevin said, your thoughts on circumcision. Well, I definitely know that it's not necessary. It's not a necessary operation. And that comes from the Jews, doesn't it? The whole circumcision thing. And now more and more, oh, don't get me started on what I found out too. But more and more people are starting to opt out of the whole circumcision thing because they realize that it's a form of mutilation. Now, if I was to have a son nowadays, no, I don't plan on having any more kids, but I would think twice before getting him circumcised. I would definitely think twice. But then I would think about, okay, when he gets older, him being with women. I know there's still some women that have a problem with that. But from what I heard, being uncircumcised is basically the majority of the world. Like I heard that the majority of penises are uncircumcised. And there's some, baby Nemo said, I got both of my sons circumcised, toss out that turtleneck. And there are some that what was like there's some like races and cultures that just don't do it like that. Like a lot of Mexican men aren't cut. Awkward letter said, I thought if you didn't get circumcised, the skin around the PP would carry diseases. Well, that's if they don't pull back that foreskin and clean it. They gotta clean it every now and then. Lilith said, none of the men in my family are circumcised, and I plan to keep the tradition. Kevin said, women tell me that uncircumcised feels better. Miss Law said, ew, really? See, there's still a lot of women that say ew at that. I've never been with an uncircumcised penis, but I wouldn't knock one until I try one. Matter of fact, I would actually shoot. Let me put that on my to-do list. Like, no, I'm not. Baby Nemo said, yuck, dick cheese builds up. Well, it's the same way women that have labia. You know, we got labia, we got folds and shit like that. So we got to clean inside the folds and stuff. That's what men got to do. Cameron said, hell no, no time for the cheese. I'm a Virgo moon. Ooh. But Cameron, you could teach your man how to clean that shit. Well, I'm sure you wouldn't, but I heard that, you know, it can give off a smell. That's how you know they haven't been cleaning that shit right. Bellatana said, what is that extra skin down there for? For protection. Because, you know, the foreskin will create moisture, like it creates its own lubrication. So it creates lubrication, but it also protects the head of the penis, also known as the glands of the penis. How do we always get on the subject of penis? Cherry Love said, nobody wants to see that smegma. Yeah, that's the biological term for that white cakey stuff that cakes around their head. They got to clean their penis more, that's all. Yes. Yes. But if a dude rarely wipes the crack of his ass, can you expect him to clean that penis right? Hey, Kay Brooks. Kay Brooks said, what do you think about Scorpios or people who are born of death or during a dark time around the family? Somebody has mentioned that before. Who mentioned that? Somebody I know had mentioned that, but I can't really say that's true because you're talking about reincarnation, right? Where a Scorpio could be a reincarnated soul of somebody that died prior. Um, I can't totally get down with that because there's so many Scorpios in the world. That can't possibly be true for all of them. Cameron said, no, man, but maybe if I was a dark side of Virgo moon, I would be out here looking for fools to teach basic hygiene to. Yeah. Kritika said, I saw one in a video that in some culture in India, clitoris is cut. Exactly. Some men, I mean, some people feel that Male circumcision is basically the same as female circumcision. Like, it's all mutilation at the end of the day. Robin said, wait a minute, what was this about this smegma? Damn, where'd it go? Damn. Well, my Virgo in me loves smegma around the head. What? Robin, expound on that. Siobhan says some of these motherfuckers ain't even going to the dentist talking about cleanliness. Woo! Now, wait a minute. What else was I totally got off the subject. I was going to talk about something. That She's Gotta Have It series. Who watches that? And if you watch it, what do you think about it? Of course, this is Spike Lee's series that stems from the movie She's Gotta Have It. Miss Law said, I'm not sucking an uncircumcised peen. And then Kevin responds with, well, uncircumcised sex is natural tantric sex. Miss Law said this season was whack, right? They tried to fill it up mostly with music. I'm like, I'm on to y'all. I was like, I know that trick. You see that, Miss Law? They tried to fill up most of the episodes with music. DJ Destiny said, I watch it. I liked it. Now, I watch it. There's some things that I don't like about it, but there's some things I do like about the show. I'll tell you this. It will keep your attention where you just want to keep watching it. Those lesbian scenes were off the chain, though. I was clutching my imaginary pearls like, oh, my God. Like, what about them lesbian scenes, though? I was like, damn. Spike Lee ain't playing around. Lilith said, I don't watch TV series because most of them have disappointing endings and it ruins the whole thing. First of all, Nola Darling, she's been bisexual since the movie. Like, that's the whole... Well, no. Nola Darling wasn't bisexual in the original, was she? In the original movie, Nola Darling had a lesbian friend, but I don't think Nola Darling was bisexual. But Spike Lee, because this is a Spike Lee series, Spike Lee has turned Nola Darling into a bisexual. So she deals with these men, but then she had this main girlfriend. DJ Destiny said they were a trip. Me too. The lesbian scenes was a wow. Denise said the whole show was turning me on. Oh my God. So out of the three guys, Greer, Greer, Jamie, and Mars, which one is your favorite? Let me write it down for those who watch this show. But Spike Lee be taking it too far sometimes with his political messages, like how the gentrification. So Greer, Jamie, Mars. Jamie is my favorite. I like Mars too, though. Mars got on my nerves in the beginning, the season 1, because I wasn't ready for him. Because, Mars was supposed to be playing the character played by Spike Lee. And I thought he was whack. When, you wanted the African dude, Gary? I thought the African dude was so cliche. With his red shirt, looking like blood diamonds and shit. I thought that shit was so cliche. Of course, some African dude got to come and he got to have that accent. In my country, you would be a queen. That type of shit. Greer is freaking gay. And I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. I'm just saying it's very clear that Greer is a gay man. So to me, he's not convincing on the show because it looks like he should be chasing after dick. I don't know if they're trying to say that Greer is bisexual. I know they're trying to say he's metrosexual, but I get gay vibes all day from Greer, so I'm not buying it that he was fucking Nola. I know, Lucky. You see that? Greer does want a man. But that would be a good plot twist. They need to have Greer come out the closet. Yeah, Greer is a light-skinned man, Natasha. But that would be a good plot twist to have Greer come out the closet and then have Nola, Greer, and some other gay dude do a threesome. Now that's really that would be fit for the modern day time. They need to do that shit. I'd be all watching it with my popcorn yeah. Wouldn't that be good? And then Nola Darling would be all conflicted about it. So you like the Spanish man? He plays Mars. Lucky said, oh, hell no. Sarah said, what do you think about Handmaid's Tale? I haven't gotten into that. Maybe I should. Lucky said a lesbian orgy. They could do that too. They could have Nola, her mixed girlfriend, And that other mixed chick, the one that got the pretty curly hair. Lil said, I love watching gay men porn. We got another one in this chat room that like watching gay men porn too, but I'm not gonna call her out. But sometimes it comes up on my Tumblr account because I got some suggestive Tumblr blogs that I follow. So I did see this one scene this morning on my Tumblr account. And I was just like, God damn. I was like, see, this is why gay men got us beat on the head game. I was just like, God damn. But exactly what I would say. He was working them jaws like it was nothing else. I was just like, God damn. Anyway, Lucky said Tumblr is still lit. Cyril, don't you get started in here like that because you will get removed. You need to be respectful of everybody up in here. Just because you don't agree with homosexuality don't mean you got to come in here showing your ass, being all bigoted and shit. Because I won't tolerate it. Keep your thoughts to yourself. Because we don't do that up in here. That's how you got kicked out of Real Talk Astrology, talking that homophobic shit. Gary said Tumblr is something else. Miss Law, period. Lilith. Sarah said my ex-husband was obsessed with gay porn, so I opted out, but all my male friends are gay. Siobhan said, bye, Cyril. Cyril always be coming in here acting up. Not really in here. This is the first time I seen him act up in here. But he was in my Real Talk Astrology group and he was acting up. And the bad thing is, I like Cyril. But, you know, sometimes some people need to be put in check and they need to learn that you got to be respectful. Robin said, I watch gay porn too, but nowadays it's disturbing because they put their feet, hands, everything. What? Are you serious? Well, porn is just getting disturbing all around. Gay porn, straight porn. Zawina said Nola wouldn't like it. What, she wouldn't like that threesome? Rosa said, hello, beautiful. Hey, Rosa. Lucky said, I'm asexual, so I wasn't offended. You know what? You asexual motherfuckers get on my nerve. No, let me stop, Lucky. I'm projecting right now. I might tell you my stress. I might talk about that later. Oh, you're welcome, Karen. I don't play that shit. Cherry Love said Rosie Perez. Oh yeah, that's the episode I seen. That's the latest. No, I seen an episode after that, so I gotta watch more of it. But I saw the episode where they went to Puerto Rico, and I saw Rosie Perez. I was like, Rosie. And how about when she was like, she told Mars, her son, she was like, I got a confession to make. This part was so funny. I love Spike Lee for this. She was like, I got a confession to make. She was like, who I said was your father is not your father. She was like, your father was named Mookie. And Mookie, you know, that goes back to Do the Right Thing. Because remember, she was in Do the Right Thing as Mookie's girlfriend. So Spike Lee wrote that into the series. And basically, Mookie is Mars' dad. I was like, that is so funny. So yeah, Rosie did age nicely. I love that they put her in that episode. The Light Seven said, I like Jamie. Mars is cool, but too immature. He acts like one of the homies. He does. And that's why that girl that he used to mess with called him a man-child. Pineapple Kisses, Rainbow Wishes said, do anyone think Nola would become celibate? I bet you she would become celibate for like maybe a few months, maybe a whole year. They could write that into the script too. And they could talk about, like, they could show how she's dealing with all these temptations. DJ Destiny said, I like that episode the most. That was a cool ass episode when they went to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. Oh, Puerto Rico. Oh, where all my Puerto Ricans at? See, I grew up around Puerto Ricans because I'm from back east. So I'm real tight with Puerto Ricans. But I live in Arizona now. So now it's mainly Mexican out here. Dana, you watched it? Yeah. Cherry Love said, what did you think about her friend's butt exploding last season? Ew, that part was disgusting. But that was funny as hell. And then this season, I thought they got me fooled because I thought, oh, you live in AZ too, Denise? Hey, neighbor. I thought that she was going back to get more ass shots, but then it was because she set the chick up. So I was happy about that. What do I think Nola's zodiac sign is? That's a good question because I was thinking about that. The first season I thought she was a Pisces, but the second season I'm like that she's doing things that's not really Pisces, and now I'm thinking she's a Scorpio. I think she's a Scorpio. I'm going to say Nola's a Scorpio, and she could have a Pisces moon. So that's what I'm saying. Nola's a Scorpio with a Pisces moon. Siobhan's agreeing. She's saying she's a Scorpio. I got Lilith and Scorpio, Rosalie. And let me tell you, my Lilith and Scorpio has taken me down some paths that I'm not too proud of. But I have no regrets, honestly, though. Lilith and Scorpio, that just can be, nasty. That's why, because I got Lilith and Scorpio in my 10th house. That's why these live chats, they often turn sexual. And it's funny because a big part of my job, like the readings I do, a large part of it does deal with sex. You should hear some of the readings I be doing and some of the stuff my clients be telling me. I be eating it up. I be like, for real? What? He did that? Oh, I be like, yup, I see that in his chart, girl. He on the down low. Oh, what? Ooh. Yup. So, I mean, I'm doing what I love for a living. My Lilith and Scorpio in the 10th house points to that all day. It's like I get to talk about sex for a living. I love it. Dana said physically Jamie. Yeah, Jamie kind of got it going on, but I don't like them real tight suits he be wearing. That's another thing I want. Like, do y'all like when men wear them real tight suits? Like a man could have like some big biceps and stuff, and he got on that tight, tailored fitted suit, and it looks like it's gonna bust at the seams. I don't like that look. I like a man that has a tailored suit, but I don't like that skin tight look. Do y'all men prefer the skin tight suits? Or do you prefer a nice tailored suit, but it still hangs on you where it's not, where you got some room, you got some wiggle room? And what about you ladies? Do you prefer the tight suits? Siobhan said no tight suits for me. I agree. To Siobhan. Siobhan said no tight suits, and Siobhan said no tight suits. Baby Nemo said, next, let's discuss porn. Cameron said that look on that face has me so curious. You had a little twinkle in your eye. Let me see. So with that, so Cameron, you're very fashionable. So you don't like the tight suits either? Yeah, it looks hella uncomfortable. That's what that Jamie be wearing on that show. And it'd be looking like he's about to bust out of that suit. Vertex is a point. It's like the co-descendant. So it's either gonna fall in the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. I've even seen a vertex in the 9th house. Matter of fact, I think I've seen a vertex in the 4th, maybe, but very close to the 5th. But it is a point that when it's stimulated, like it can produce fated circumstances. Like when the sun was on my vertex, if I'm not mistaken, it was either conjoined to my vertex or it was in positive aspect. That was when I got my first video natal chart reading client. And my vertex is in Leo, and guess what? He's a Leo rising. So there you go. Yeah, I don't like those nut crunching pants, and I don't like those pants where they look like high waters. So Rosa said, with that Scorpio and Lilith, is that the divine feminine or the karmic? That divine feminine stuff, like Lilith really isn't about anything on the divine level. It's really not. It's more on the negative end. I think Nola's a Pisces moon because she's like just kind of flaky. She has a hard time being responsible, and then you got to take her art into account. She's an artist. And then how about she even went to that place where all the artists were staying at? It was like a little workshop or a camp for artists. That's very Pisces moon. Baby Nemo, you can't get off of this porn thing. You are a horny little chickadee. Miss Law said Lilith in Aquarius is about the liberation of women. It can very well be about sexual liberation, but it can also mean that you got a little, you want to do a little carpet munching, but you might not really want to admit that. Or you could attract lesbians. Like people could, lesbians could think that you're a lesbian, or they just might be trying to convert you. Bellatana said, I like Lilith. She sets me free. Everybody likes Lilith. I see that Lilith gets a lot of attention in astrology. People are obsessed with Lilith. Miss Law said, I do attract lesbians. Have you ever been in a lesbian affair? I like the Prince tribute, but me and my daughter, we were clowning it in some parts because the way the people, in the crowd were acting. But the Prince tribute was nice. But then again, in one part, because I'm so snarky and smart ass, in one part I was like Prince rolling his eyes in his grave right now. Ooh, it's 3 o'clock. I gotta get ready and go because I eat at 4. Y'all know I do that 1 meal a day, so I can't be missing my meal because I gotta do a reading after it. So I'll be on for like another 20 minutes, but then I gotta get off. Hey, Blasian Beauty. What brand of Asian are you mixed with? Filipino, Chinese, Korean? You know the brothers love y'all Blasians. So you Filipino. Do you get a lot of attention from black men? They probably be breaking their necks trying to holler at you. She said Filipino, Japanese, and Chinese. Damn, you're barely black. Where's the black part? Okay. Jenny Aiko. Yeah, I like her. She's cool. So, but she said my dad is from Louisiana. My pops is Chinese Jamaican. Interesting. I know that there's a strong Chinese population in Japan. Why I say Japan? In Jamaica. I seen a documentary on that. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about Jordan Peterson. That's my dude. I like him. Now, some people don't like him because they're misunderstood by his message. So Jordan Peterson, he's a Gemini born June 12th. I watch his videos a lot because he makes a lot of sense. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, just Google him or search for him on YouTube. He makes a lot of sense. He's a big time intellectual. Of course he is because he's a professor, but he's caught a lot of flack over the past few years for his views. He really is against certain agendas. Thank you, Pineapple Kisses. So Lilith and Pisces in the 4th house, you could feel like an outcast in terms of your family. You could feel like you've never really fit in, but that could be true in terms of your race as well. So Sarah said that Scorpio I was with for a while that stalks me is Puerto Rican. Siobhan said never heard of him. He's a professor at your university. Hey, SMA channel. That's what's up. But he got a lot of flack. He got a lot of people that I think it was 200 of his colleagues, of his co-workers, co-professors, they signed a petition to try to get him ousted from his university simply because he doesn't agree with certain agendas. He doesn't agree with um certain things, certain dynamics in terms of the way this society is headed, especially in terms of colleges and universities and the propaganda that they're pushing and all this stuff. He's really not big on feminism. He's very much about the balance of the sexes. He's very much about being in control of your life, in control of your destiny. He's very much about not making excuses for your failures and pulling yourself up by your bootstraps and all this stuff. Thank you, Miss Million. One thing I noticed about Jordan Peterson is that he his voice will start to shake sometimes. Critique, no, I'm not a feminist. Um, but I am very much about the rights of women, but I'm very much about the rights of anybody. Um, except for people that aren't about the rights of other people. But his voice will shake sometimes, and I remember I was thinking about that. I was like, that's kind of strange for a professor to have a shaky voice. But then I was like, yeah, he's a Gemini. He's not just a Gemini. He got his Mercury in Gemini because I got his birth time off of Astro Theme. He got his Mercury in Gemini at the 13th degree in the 1st house. That produces a lot of nervous energy. So when he gets like charged up, especially when he's saying something that he really cares about or that he's very passionate about, his voice will start to shake. And I know that probably bothers him. So it's funny you're saying erudite, that you're an egalitarian, but you don't like Jordan Peterson, because Jordan Peterson has his Saturn in Aquarius. It's conjoined to his Aquarius South Node, and they're both at the 11th degree in the 10th house, and that deals with him facing the backlash for going out on a limb and talking about some of the things that these colleges and universities are perpetuating. Oh, and let me tell you all this, y'all. This made me love Jordan Peterson so much more. I found this out today watching a video of his. So he's always doing these panels and he's always doing these debates and all this stuff. So he gets into a lot of debates about the existence of God and the belief of God and stuff. He's very philosophical, born on the 12th, so it makes sense. The 12 can be very philosophical, and he's also political in some ways. But this one guy, they were talking about God and stuff like this. So this one guy, he started off talking about astrology, and here I am just writing notes and stuff. I immediately perked up because he was like, take astrology, for instance. And he was a big time skeptic. He was basically like, everybody in the audience who believes in astrology, clap your hands. Nobody clapped. Everybody was afraid to clap, which lets you know in academic circles, astrology is still frowned upon. In scientific communities, astrology is still frowned upon. So I was like, wow, that's fucked up. But anyway, thank you for the super chat, Natasha. She said you were right about my ex-boyfriend. He was Taurus, Sun, Scorpio, Moon, and Venus in Aries. He was selfish, came over my house without calling after we broke up. That's that Scorpio Moon doing that. But yeah, so anyway, so the guy there was a skeptic and he was talking about, he was like, so just know that 25%, he was like, your neighbor might be a believer in astrology because 25% of the population believe in astrology, even though it's hogwash. Like, he was basically talking trash about astrology. Well, then here comes Jordan Peterson. He comes and he's defending astrology without defending it because he has to be slick with it. And Geminis can be slick. So I peeped his game and he went back into history and he said, well, in ancient times, astrology was the same as astronomy. Hello, when he said that, I was like, I love him so much. And he was talking about how even, the builders of the pyramids and all these ancient structures, how they believed in astrology and how they used astrology to map the coordinates and match it up with the buildings and all that stuff. And then he mentioned how ancient peoples would use astrology to time for agricultural purposes and to pinpoint when storms would be coming and droughts and all that stuff. So basically, he was defending astrology without defending it. He was doing it in a very diplomatic way. But that made me see, I was like, he believes in astrology. I was like, I know he does. Matter of fact, let me look at his chart and see if I can see signs that he's a believer in astrology. Plus, he's a Gemini too, and you know how Geminis can be open-minded. But I was like, if he is of the psychology community, which he is, there's a good chance that he does believe in astrology because guess what? One of the biggest psychologists, Carl Jung, was also a practicing astrologer. Does anybody know that? That Carl Jung, who is basically one of the fathers of astrology, you might as well say, was a practicing astrologer. So exactly, Cameron. So let me just look at his chart again real quick and see if I see anything that's dealing with perhaps his belief in astrology. So I'm looking for Uranus. Now he got Uranus squaring his ascendant. He got Uranus in the 5th, and it's ruling his 11th, and it's in Leo. I'm going to say that he does give credence to astrology. He got the 13th degree of Aquarius on the 11th. That 13 can deal with astrology. It like reinforces astrology. That Uranus squaring ascendant, though, that could deal with where he's very cautious about telling people about his belief in astrology because he's in the whole academic circles. And academia and also the sciences, they don't give credence to astrology. It's fucked up that they still discredit astrology. But I might reach out to him and be like, "Hey, look, I'll do your chart for free because I know you believe in it, and this is just going, this is going to reinforce your belief because I know you still got some doubts." But anyway, he was very classy in his explanation about astrology, and he shot that guy down. He shut him down. I was like, I bet you that other guy's a Scorpio because he looked like a Scorpio. So you still got a lot of people that are very skeptical of astrology, that believe that astrology is bullshit. But yeah, so I definitely feel like Jordan Peterson does believe in astrology, maybe not fully, but somewhat. But I just thought that was interesting. So another thing he has in his chart, he got Mercury in quincunx to his Neptune and Scorpio. I already memorized his charts, a lot of it, because that shows you how much I'm fond of the guy. So he got Mercury in quincunx to his Neptune, and that can deal with the scandals that he's found himself in as a result of his speeches, as a result of his opinions and his thoughts and his words. But yeah, he's a pretty dope dude in my opinion. And if anybody, thinks that he's a bigot or thinks that he's racist or that he hates women or whatever, he has a huge male following, and that deals with his North Node in Leo. So he is very much about defending the rights of men, which I'm very much about too. Like I said, I'm about defending the rights of everybody. So if I see one group of people being shitted on, I don't like that shit. I'm a Sagittarius. So I don't like injustices towards anybody that's undeserving of it. But Jordan Peterson, he definitely has that. His chart is basically pointed to his whole life. He got Sagittarius on the 8th. That's him being a professor of psychology, psychiatry. He got Capricorn on the 9th. That's showing that his career is in education. That shows that, yes, his career is as a professor within a college or university, because the 9th house deals with colleges and universities. He got Saturn, ruler of the 9th house, conjoined to his Aquarius South Node in the 10th. Again, that's him being persecuted by his colleagues for what he's saying, for his beliefs, for the speeches. Lilith said when people can't argue with somebody, the first thing they do is label them as a ism. But he makes a lot of sense. And for people to just automatically write him off as how he's against women's rights, not at all. He loves his wife. They're always traveling together, and that's very 12 birth number. He's a very sensible guy, and he gets choked up. He gets choked up sometimes when he talks because he was close to tears in this last debate. No, it wasn't a debate. It was an interview he was doing, and that deals with his Mercury and quincunx to Neptune. So he cares a lot about humanity and about this world. He's against socialism. He's against communism. But it looks like from a past life, he's coming from that place. He's coming from a past life of being under communistic rule or socialistic rule, and he probably, was a proponent of it. But since in a past life he probably has direct experience about the damage that socialism and communism can wreak upon society, that in this lifetime he's turned it around. Young Nietzsche, Dostoevsky, how do you pronounce that? Dostoevsky, all those guys he references acknowledge astrology. Hippocrates, who was the father of medicine, practiced astrology, and he said that any good doctor, or he said something like, let me get the quote, because he said that all good doctors should also practice astrology. Let me just read this quote. And I know Jordan Peterson knows about this quote too. I know he does. So he said, look, man, this is going to look, I'm just trying to find a damn quote. I don't need to read all this. Okay, so he said, Hippocrates, the Greek physician who is regarded as the father of medicine, insisted his students study astrology, saying, "He who does not understand astrology is not a doctor, but a fool." Boom! That's from the mouth of a doctor, okay? But nowadays, your average doctor thinks that astrology is hogwash from the indoctrination that they received in academia, but also through, in society, period. Society as a whole still looks down upon astrology. And I feel like my purpose on this earth is to contribute to changing that mindset in a lot of people. But what do you think? What is some of the solutions on how to change a skeptic's mind in terms of astrology? The only way, in my opinion, is to do their chart and show them and, be able to talk about certain things that they haven't told anybody through their chart. But how do we change these skeptics' minds? SMA channel says astrology and astronomy was considered to be the same at one point in time. That's very true. I was going to do the blast from the past from the 80s, but I think I'll do that during my next live stream. So does anybody want me to do an 80s throwback party where I did it's Capricorn, 11 degrees Capricorn lucky. Who wants me to do an 80s throwback live stream? Anybody would be interested in it? I know I got a lot of 80s babies in here. I got a lot of 70s babies who came up in the 80s. Let's do an 80s throwback in honor of Mars and Cancer, because Mars will still be in Cancer the next time I go live. So let's do an 80s throwback. I will even put on 80s makeup. I will do my hair in 80s style. I will wear 80s clothes. I will purposely go to the thrift store and get some 80s clothes and do it upright because I love the 80s. 80s babies in the house. In his house. We could do an 80s throwback party and then we'll do a 70s throwback party as well. I'll do my makeup like the 70s and all that stuff. I might have to like thin out my eyebrows. You know how in the 70s they was into them real thin eyebrows. I don't like that thin eyebrow look. Oh, Capricorn ascendant. Yes, I'm a Cappy ascendant. I'll bust a cap in your ass. Yes, I was. Let me see. Was I a teenager in the 80s? When did I become a teenager? That would be 13. I was born in 75. So 1988. Yup. Pluto astrology said I don't trust women with thin eyebrows. That just irks me. The thin eyebrows. I noticed that's an Aries thing for I noticed quite a few Aries women will have them they'll either be real thin or they'll be real thick like that Sharpie shit. But I noticed like y'all Aries females, y'all can use some work on the eyebrows. And it makes sense because Aries is opposed to Libra, and Libra's eyebrow game always be on point. And I am kind of obsessed with eyebrows because I got Venus in Libra and I feel like I can never get mine right. I was thinking about getting mine tattooed like that permanent because I had a Libra coworker that had that shit done. Hey, Sanja Bute. I don't know how to. Wait. Let me try to get this right. Soja Boon Soja Boon Lisa. Is that how you? Did I get it right? Soja Boon Where are you from? Uganda or something? Thank you. I try. Yes, the microblading, but I heard some bad things about microblading. Thank you, Siobhan. Thank you so much for the super chat. Anybody got that microblading before? I had a coworker that had it done. Hey, Gina. Cherry Love said, "Yep, all the Aries women in my family got them ugly thin eyebrow." I told y'all think I be lying about this shit. Y'all think I be making this shit up until somebody come in the chat and confirm that shit. Siobhan said her name looks South African. Pluto astrology said Aries females have them round heads minus the cute face of Libra. That's messed up. Sarah said no microblading, just tattoo it. Oh, so there is a difference. That microblading sounds painful. Siobhan said my eyebrows are naturally thick. Soja, did I pronounce your name right? Thank you, Soja. Sarah said microblading causes scarring. Yeah, I don't need to be doing that. I don't want to do nothing where they gotta use some blade on me. I'm cool. They also do that microderm. What is that called? The microblading on the face where they put all these needles in your face and then you be bleeding and shit. I can't do that. I'm sorry. Beauty ain't all that to me. Well, Venus and Gemini can be prone to have two lovers. I'll say that. And they do like to keep their options open. Like a Venus and Gemini person will sabotage themselves just because they want to keep their options open. They're not, and also where they are very uncomfortable with, intimacy. So if things are getting too intimate, they could even sabotage the relationship themselves. I've seen it done with Venus and Geminis. Like the minute the person is starting to really want to commit to them and like really get close to them, they'll do something to send them away or to push them away. Thank you so much, Aquarian Essence, for the super chat. I'm sending love right back to you. Victoria V said, I got Venus in the Aries in Gemini house. Victoria's V, how's your makeup game? Is your makeup game tight with that Venus and Aries? Or do you need a little help? Lil said I'd be shaving my face to exfoliate it and also to make it brighter without the many hair. I can't stand that many hairs on my face. I've tried so many things. As a matter of fact, I got a client that does waxing. So I asked her, I was like, what's up with that facial waxing? And she put me on to some shit. She's not in here, but shout out to you. I'm not gonna say your name, but you already know who I'm talking about if you catch this live. But I was like, what's up with that waxing? I was like, is waxing safe for the face? Because I told her that one time I got my upper lip waxed. Yes, because I could grow a little mustache. I got my upper lip wax and I didn't break out, but it swelled up and I started to get these like little bumps. So ever since then, I've been afraid to get my face waxed. But I used to get my eyebrows waxed, and I actually like the way that feels. I like getting my eyebrows waxed rather than getting them threaded because I've had them threaded before, and that shit hurts. I don't like that threading stuff, and it takes too long. The waxing is just shrip, done. But I'll never forget. I went to this waxing, and I was like, I'm never going back. I went to this Asian place because they got that shit on lock. The waxing, the nails, all that stuff. So I went to this nail salon. They do waxing too, and I was like, I need my eyebrows waxed. You know what this bitch said? She was like, "You sure you don't want to do your face? You got a very hairy face, hair all over your face." I was like, I didn't need to know all that. I was like, thanks. She made me have a complex for the rest of my life. She was like, you got hair all over your face. I was like, oh, wow. That's one thing about them Asians. They will let you know. They don't care. Are they ruled by Gemini? Because they don't have no fucking filter. They will say whatever the fuck's on their mind. Then they be wearing them face masks, and then they be letting you get all the chemicals. You be getting all the chemicals. You be breathing in all the chemicals. They got the face mask on. Then they be trying to talk to you through that face mask. You can't understand a word they say, and they be like, "Oh yes," and you just be like, "Uh huh, uh huh," and they be like, "I think I want to you." Then they go talk to their friends about you and shit. They're like, "Oh, you need one, you be like, God damn, they be loud as shit too. They talk about black people loud. Them Asians are loud. Yeah, I'm talking about your people, Blaze Your Beauty. Okay, Pluto, thank you. Asians are ruled by Libra. Okay. Thanks for letting me know. Well, Libra can be very opinionated too. They are opinionated. Latin people are ruled by Cancer. Okay, break it down. Y'all break it down. Now, I've heard that the black race is ruled by Pisces. Some people would disagree, but I've read that in a few places. The Italians, I know they're ruled by Leo. Spaniards are ruled by Sagittarius. Hey, will make sense because of the bullfighting and all that type of stuff, being all adventurous and shit. And you know, Spaniards are very hot blood. They've been known to be hot blooded. Well, Victorious, I've always heard that it was Pisces that blacks were ruled by, mainly because of the slavery thing. Because Pisces rules slavery, which is pretty fucked up. But then again, damn, you heard black people are ruled by Pluto? God damn, that's fucked up. But that would explain a lot. Damn, black people can't get a break. Damn. That's fucked up. Yes, I have dated a Gemini, and you know what? He wanted to flip flop so much, and then he wanted to tell me after the fact, you know, I would have married you, right? I'm like, okay, whatever. Right? Aquarian black people can't get a break. What are you talking about the East Indians in India? What are they ruled by? I would say Scorpio. Please let me know. Are Indians from East India ruled by Scorpio? Because I would think so. First of all, the whole India is Scorpio to me. The country India is very Scorpio. Because you got some real dark magic going on in India, which in my opinion explains why they got all them genetic mutations over there. Like they got babies that got like 3 heads and shit sometimes. Like, have y'all noticed that? Like in India, that's where you're gonna see the most genetic mutations and biological, like the birth defects and shit. For real, I'm not playing. It's because they be doing all that magic. Black magic is deep in India. It's strong. Yes, you all got a lot of culture. Y'all got all those gods and stuff. So it's my and I've always had an affinity with India. Kritika. I used to watch the Asian variety show. Kid you not, Kritika. I used to watch the Asian variety show, which was this Indian show, and they would show all these Hindi movies and shit, Bollywood, on Sundays when I was a kid. I loved it because I used to love seeing the women with the saris on and the costumes. I used to love hearing the music, and I love Indian music. I love it. Like Abida Parveen. Where you at, Kritika? Do you know who Abida Parveen is? See, I be knowing my Indian culture. Kritika said, yes, my aunt's husband died because of black magic. And I'm telling you, India got some of the strongest black magic out there. You will wake up with your head turned around. Parveen, yes. And then who's the other one? Oh, I can't Shubhub. I can't pronounce her name, but she's another one. Rahi Jukala. But yeah, there's quite a few Indian songs I love. I love that Kama Sutra movie. Now, in terms of Indian movies, I can't remember the ones from back in the day that because they were actually Bollywood, like Indian movies that I would watch. But in terms of the modern day movies, like Mira Nair, she's made like Kama Sutra. That's one of my favorite movies. I love Salam Bombay, and I love Monsoon Wedding. I watched Monsoon Wedding recently again, and that's always a treat. Hey Tanya, how you doing? And when I was a kid, I could swear I was from India. I thought I was from India from a past life. And when I was a kid in school, we had this Christmas play, and it was called Christmas from All Around the World. And because we didn't have any Indian classmates, my teacher made me the Indian girl, and she used her lipstick and put a red dot right here, and I had to play the Indian girl from around the world for the Christmas play, which was pretty dope. And my mom got one of her 70 sheets and she made it look like a sari. So you know how them 70 sheets had them weird ass patterns and shit. So yeah, she just took the sheet and she got some safety pins and shit. And I had the little sari and I had a black leotard underneath. Pretty dope. Lilith said, what would black magic do to somebody? I've seen look, let me tell you, I got some tricks up my sleeve myself. Oh, I gotta go. It's 3:33. Aubrey, are you here? I might be signing on a little late. How late are you gonna be up? Because we got a lot to discuss with the things you were sharing with me. Dana said, you know, I struggle because my Venus and Gemini opposite my Scorpio ascendant. Cherry Love said, my grandmother is half East Indian. I feel like someone be trying to do it on me. I pray Psalms daily. Well, you know what? It's not too far-fetched, especially nowadays, because a lot of people, oh, good, you'll be up all night. Can we do it a little later? Can we do it a little later? Can we get busy a little later, Aubrey? Can we do it on a late night? But I'll send you an email. I'll let you know what time I can sign on. Thank you, Aubrey. You're such a darling. But what was I saying? Oh damn, I'm all over the place. Oh, I was talking about black magic. Yeah, nowadays a lot of people are practicing magic, y'all. So y'all gotta be careful, even when it comes to potential mates, because people be putting spells on people. But not everybody is susceptible to spells. There's some signs that are more susceptible. All water signs are very susceptible to spell work. So just y'all the sensitive ones. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, y'all the sensitive ones that can be taken under through a spell. Scorpio's the one that's going to be less taken in because Scorpio is a very strong-willed sign, but they could get got to. Sign that's going to be kind of hard to influence in terms of magic. Those are going to be the Leos, your Aquarians, even Gemini in some cases. Because some people are just so strong-willed where magic is not going to work on them. But other people don't have such strong will. Taurus is another one. Thank you, Miss Law. Other people will don't have as much a strong will where they could be got. Who knows about hot-footing? That's one of the simplest forms. And I wouldn't even, that's not black magic. That's a form of hoodoo. But that's very effective. I'll let y'all know about how to get rid of somebody real quick. So here's a little magic tip that I'm giving y'all. If y'all don't know about hot footing, I usually don't give my tips out to people, but you can find this on the internet anyway. You could just Google hot foot and learn about it. So if let's say you got a house guest, right? Because I've actually had to do this before and it works like a charm. Let's say you got a house guest and you getting tired of them, but they won't leave, or you got a fucked up boyfriend and he won't leave. Well, what you got to do is you got to get some peppers and some kosher salt. So you get 3 types of peppers. You could get your red hot pepper, you could get black pepper and maybe white pepper, or you can crush up some dried peppers and mix, as long as it's just a hot mixture of pepper, but it needs to be 3 different types of peppers. And then you add some kosher salt in there, right? So then what you do is when they're not looking, preferably when they're not in the house, you sprinkle that hot foot powder where they're going to walk, where you know they're going to walk, preferably barefoot, but they don't have to be barefoot. And while you want to do it while you're walking backwards, and while you're walking backwards, you say, leave this house. And you want to say, leave this house in peace. And you could give them a time frame as well. But you don't want to say, leave this house without saying leaving in peace, unless you don't care about what's going to happen to them, because magic is going to take the route of least resistance. So if you're doing magic on somebody and you say, you do a hot foot and you say go, and you don't say go in peace, and you're just like vacate, leave, don't come back. Well, the reason why they may not come back is because they could get hit by a car and die. Like, magic is that fucking serious. Like, again, the universe, when it comes to magic, will take, wait a minute, what you doing speaking German up in here, Larissa? Is that German? But yeah, so the universe will take the path of least resistance when it comes to magic. So if you want somebody out of your life, you got to be specific. If you don't want no harm to come to them, Lil said, get the fuck out of my house. If you don't want no harm to come to them, you got to say go in peace, or leave in peace, or you will end up in a better situation. You can even bless them. You could be like, you're gonna find a better living situation. You just got to get out of here. But yes, Aquarian, words are everything. And that's why the word spell is equated with spelling words, but it also means spells in terms of magical spells. And yes, you could use the book of Psalms for spells as well. But yeah, so that's a little trick that I'm going to leave y'all with. And only use it if you definitely need it. Don't just use it because you and your boyfriend get into an argument and you want to get him out the house real quick just for the night. Don't do that, because if you do it, that person's not coming back. They're not coming back. So don't do it unless you're serious. Don't do it unless you're tired of this motherfucker and you want him out of your life for good, because that pepper will ward them off. I've even did it, honestly, like I did it for a probation officer. I wasn't on probation, but my daughter was, my oldest daughter, Aquarius. And I hope no authorities is watching this, but you can even do it with the law. I'm telling you, because this motherfucker was coming by the house, and my daughter was on probation for some bullshit that she did. But anyway, she wasn't even living with me at the time, but he wanted to come by trying to find her. I was like, oh no, you ass ain't coming back here. So I got my little Hotfoot powder and I sprinkled it outside the door and stuff. And he gave me his business card. So I think I did a freezer spell too to get him to keep him from coming back. You know, that fool never came back. But guess who came back? A different probation officer. I was like, damn. But that was the only time that one other probation officer came back, though. But yeah. So that's my little hoodoo, because I do practice hoodoo. And I do spells for clients, but it's on an as needed case by case basis, because I don't just do spells for people. And not all spells are going to work, because you got to take your situation into account and you got to be realistic about it. So you can't expect to get $1 million just because you do a money spell. It don't work out that way. You always got to work within the parameters of what is actually achievable. Hoodoo and voodoo are very different, but there's some similarities. But yeah, if you're going to start getting into magic, you have to do it with a level of responsibility. And I will turn potential people away because I see that what they're trying to do is not right, or I just see that it's not possible, or whatever like that. But I will do a reading first to determine if the spell is even going to work, or if the magic's going to work, all that type of stuff. Job spells, they're really easy to do. So if you ever need a job, just go on the internet. And this don't have nothing to do with black magic either, doing a little job spell for yourself. I've done a job spell for myself and got a job. I've done 2 job spells for myself, got a job within the first one. I got a job within a week, and I turned the job down because I knew I was that cold that I could do another job spell and get a better option. So the first job, they hired me on, no, they didn't hire me on the spot. This was after I did the job spell. They called me like right after I got home after that interview, and they was like, why is Victoria's V keep on saying divorce? I don't get it. But they were like, yeah, we want to offer you the job. And it was paying pretty well too, but because it was dealing with an automotive school and I would be having to work around all these greasy ass men, I declined, because I was working in the financial aid department by then, around that time. So I did another job spell, and I wrote down that I wanted this amount, and I didn't want to work. I said I didn't want to work any more than 35 hours a week, all that type of stuff. Got the job real quick, hired me on the fucking spot. So if you would, if you want to know about this stuff, one of the best websites is luckymojo.com. But be careful about ordering from them, because they take a long time to ship to you. But then there's some good hoodoo. Magical Lady Duchess is a good one. Mystic at the Crossroads, because I don't really teach magic, but they do. Mystic at the Crossroads is another one that you can learn from. And there's another one. Damn, I forget her name. This white chick. And then there's a few white. Conjure Cardea is one. Conjure Cardea. And then there's this other one, I forget. But there's some good ones out there. So if y'all ever want to get like into magic and start taking more control of your destiny, definitely. And you don't have to go, Conjure Queen. And there's another one too. You don't have to go to black magic route. You could stay on the light side, but magic is magic in my opinion. But you could stay on the light side and still take better charge of your life by doing little things. You know, if you have your own business, like I do a money spell every month, and I'm actually late on my money spell. I had to do a quick one this morning, but I do a money spell every month to help my sales and to make sure that I do well every month. So know that the spiritual is just as powerful as the material. Sometimes the spiritual is even more powerful because your thoughts are part of the spiritual, because we can't see them, we can't touch them, we can't feel them. They're intangible. But your thoughts dictate so much in terms of your reality, and it's no joke. So the more you focus on things, like the more you place your focus on something, the more that's going to become your reality. Yes, I have Sun conjoined to Neptune, so I'm built for magic. Magic is my birthright. Kritika said, need to do some crack entrance exams. Hope they work. Thanks. Crack entrance exam. Oh, I see what you're saying. We have in the States, it's called CLEP, where you could CLEP out of college. Is that what you're talking about? Well, Cameron, I don't believe that law of three. Is that what you're talking about? The law of three? That's that Wiccan belief, and I'm not a Wiccan, so I don't believe that whatever you do comes back to you threefold. Because if that was the truth, I've done a lot of good in my life, and I haven't seen shit in return for it. How about that? What about your good deeds? Does that mean like every good deed that I do come back to me threefold too? I don't believe that shit. And I would never do anything harmful towards somebody that didn't have it coming to them. That's my philosophy, and that's my code of ethics. Do no harm to people who do not harm you. But if somebody harms me or my children or some other loved one of mine, you best believe it's on. It's fair game. I'm gonna get you, and I'm gonna get you bad, and you're gonna wish that you never fucked me or my family over. That's just how I am. And that's my Pluto influence. I got Pluto square in my moon, so I could be very vengeful. Very. But it helps to channel that vengeful nature into magic. See, if you do it with order and with a purpose, then that energy doesn't have to be destructive. It can be constructive, even if it means you're constructing a spell to fuck somebody up in the game that deserves it. But yeah, I've had it's so funny because my Scorpio moon daughter, the oldest one, she when a dude has done her wrong, she has told them like, yeah, my mom does magic. And she was like, all I gotta do is tell my mom about you, and she'll be about that work. She'd be like, my mom will put that work in. She's had dudes like apologizing, talking about don't tell your mom, please. I don't mean, I'm sorry, blah 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 blah. Yeah, I'm about that life, but only if somebody brings it to me and takes me there. I don't play. And sometimes magic, the spirit world, is your only defense. This one dude on online did me dirty, and I did a little work on him. He's been suffering ever since, and I'm talking about 2 years in the making. Been suffering ever since. Now I'm not saying I'm the sole cause of that, because he's shooting his own self in the foot, but I know I had something to do with that shit, because I have a special connection with the universe, and I learned a long time ago that I don't even have to do magic. A lot of times when people do me wrong, their karma just comes back on them really quickly. And maybe that's because I have Sun conjoined to Neptune, which means I'm a child of God. I'm a child of the divine. At the end of the day, I got spiritual protection. So if anybody want to bring me to business, I got spirit guides, I got spiritual entities that will bring it right back to them, and in the worst way. So sometimes I don't even got to do anything. That's why when people do me dirty, I'd be like, they have no idea who I am, do they? Cameron says, so it's attracting more of the same. It's like you do deeds out of kindness and out of your generosity, you will give back. But if you do good deeds out of a place of guilt and feeling like you owe it, I honestly believe that good deeds are just good deeds. I believe that you really don't get anything in return for good deeds. You're just supposed to do good deeds to try to be a good person. So bad deeds, yeah, I believe, yeah, we got our karma and all that type of stuff, but it really depends. Taryn said, girl, I found people who come for me, end up losing everything. I learned to let things be when I'm played. See, you got that spiritual protection too. That, yeah, some people don't have to do nothing, because when people do them wrong, they got spirit guides, they got ancestors that will go handle that for them. Krutika said good deeds should never be transaction, but sometimes in the real world can be. Ethereal said I'm backing. It's the cap in you that don't care about serving karma. Victorious V said, I feel like I've been put on this, and part of the reason I've been put on this earth is to activate other people's karma. I really do. Because a lot of people are living foul nowadays and nobody's doing anything about it. I know I gotta eat. I know, but y'all know I could keep on talking because y'all be bringing some interesting points. Victoria said, yeah, I don't have to do nothing, anything. My ancestors truly with me. And that's another thing. Start honoring your ancestors, because your ancestors can provide you with protection and they could guide you in the right direction. You best believe you got ancestors. We all got some ancestors looking out for us. You best to believe it. And that's one of the reasons why you want to respect your elders. You don't got to be all kissing her ass and shit, but you do want to respect your elders because they're going to a place where you're going to eventually go to too. And when they cross over, they could be of help to you. You never know. Your mother, your father, your grandmother, your grandfather, great grandfather, your aunt, your uncle. That family thing is strong. You know, Cancer rules family, but it also rules the grave and it also rules ghosts. Blasian Beauty said, I know my spirit guides are American Indians. Why do you think the Native Americans, American Indians, they like their experience with things are, you know, they're very much about supernatural things. Why? Because they honor their ancestors. Same with a lot of African tribes, African cultures, because they honor their ancestors, and that enables them to manipulate the energy that's in this atmosphere to their benefit because they're using the help of the ancestors because they honor them. Ariel said, hey, Rabina, you're so amazing at what you do. Thank you. Can you tell me anything about having a Libra Sun, Aquarius rising, and Capricorn moon? Well, the Libra Sun and Aquarius rising makes you very sociable, but that Capricorn moon can make you a loner. So you might be a little bit of both. You know, you might be very socially active, but then there could be times where you're like, you know, I'm sick of these goddamn people. I need to just be by myself for a minute. But that's really good for having a business because you could attract a lot of customers, a lot of clients with that hookup right there. A lot of Capricorn moons want to own and operate their own business, even more so than Capricorn suns. Because the Capricorn moon person, they really have a need, because the moon deals with what you need. They have a need to be their own authority. Yes, you could do a job spell for a promotion at work, but I would call it a job promotion spell. Be specific. And it needs to already be possible. So if you're working at McDonald's and you're expecting to be promoted to general manager, just stop. It's not going to happen. Like if you starting off on fries, because that could take years. But if you know that there's already a possibility of you getting a promotion, hell yeah, give it a little push by doing a job spell. Ali Star said, I've got a cat moon too, but Aries sun and Scorpio rising. That's good for business too, actually. Karen R said, it's just the thoughts and intentions behind the actions that are key. Yes. At least to me, I just learned to wish people well and that they get what they need to grow, and life always catches up with them. Intention is everything. My father passed away in 1994, and my boyfriend beat me, kicked me around like a football, and then he died 3 months later, shot in the head. My father did it. I believe you, Victorious. I believe you. That's what I'm talking about. The power of your ancestors and your loved ones who have crossed over. They will protect you. Thank you, Sunny Sunny. Zoena said, yup, look at the Haitians. Without voodoo, there would have been no revaluation. Yes, they did use voodoo to their advantage. Sometimes you got to beat the material with the spiritual. Blasian Beauty said, but I'm taking another route because, you know, as a Sagittarius, I don't stop. I'll continue to fight. Ethereal said, dude be on fries, be the dude who need the loot. Yep. But one thing, again, I have to stress, magic works within the parameters of what's real, of what reality, you know, of reality and stuff. So you can't expect, you know, if you do a spell, a penis spell, and you're a 4-incher, you can't expect your penis to grow to 9 inches. It's not going to happen. That's not possible. You can, however, do a glamour spell for your penis and make women that you get with believe that your penis is bigger than what it is. So you could do that type of spell, the glamour. The glamour deals with where you're deceiving somebody. But deceiving people really isn't a good thing. I really don't agree with that. Or you could just do a love spell where you attract a woman that don't mind that you're a little 4-incher. Some women don't need like length. I see y'all laugh. Of course, I had to use a nasty example. Well, it's not nasty. Penis ain't nasty. It's anatomy, but I gotta keep it funny. But yeah, I mean, you could do all types of spells. They actually, oh, let me write this down. This is my favorite go-to store for my supplies. Oh, Original Botanica. They're in the Bronx, in New York City. They are my go-to spot for all my spell supplies. They even have penis-shaped candles for if you want to do a spell on a guy. They got vagina-shaped candles or vulva-shaped candles if you want to do a spell. Like these are like sex spells. If you want to do sex spells on people, they got all different types of shit. So yeah, stuff like that is out there. And the Hispanics know what I'm talking about because that's deep into the Hispanic culture, magic and all that. Thank you, Taryn. That's one of the reasons why I love the Hispanic. So when y'all were watching She's Gotta Have It, remember when they went to Puerto Rico and Rosie Perez, she was feeding her ancestors. Do you remember that? She put a bowl of food, she put some rice and beans down for her ancestors, and she had a candle lit and she said a little prayer, whatever, stuff like that. Yes, that shit is real. That shit will keep you safe from harm. It will guide you in the right direction. All that. Yes, Hispanic culture has some strong African influences. Santeria is very much about African culture. It's mainly It's like an African religion. It comes from the African traditions. Yes. Oh, I get my rings from different places. So this onyx ring I got, my mom gave it to me. So this belonged to my mom. This peridot ring I got years ago when I was selling jewelry. So I used to sell jewelry, y'all. That's my sun could join the Pisces. I mean, my sun could join the Neptune with Pisces intercepted in my second house. So I thought I was going to be making some money selling jewelry, but that didn't work out. But I did make some decent money at I did a few flea markets and stuff. This is when I lived in Philly. This garnet is from overstock.com, I think. This is from Overstock, and this is from the jewelry store. I mean, the jewelry that I used to sell back in the day. So I've done quite a bit. I've done a great deal of things. But I am getting hungry. Does anybody have any suggestions on what I should get to eat? Because I don't know. I got Venus and Libra. I always be indecisive about what to eat, but I know I want something healthy, and I know I'm not trying to cook, which means I got to go out and get something. And I don't know what I should get. I do want some fish. Tara said pho. Isn't that how you pronounce it? Pho. They got quite a few Thailand places around here. I could go for some fried fish. Terrence said Vietnamese. That's right, it's Vietnamese. I'm sorry. I had Chipotle yesterday, Victorious, and it was good. Chipotle is when I have my vegetarian meal because I don't like that meat in Chipotle. To me, the meat is inferior because they be using chicken thighs, and I don't play with chicken thigh meat because it be all chewy and gristly and shit. And I don't like their beef because their beef is hella tough. I don't eat pork like that, so I'm not gonna have the carnitas. And I damn sure ain't having those sofritas, which is that vegan soy shit. So when I go to Chipotle, I just get the white rice with black beans, and I get the pico with the corn. I be like, extra pico, extra corn, because I'm not having no meat. So that's that's what I eat vegetarian at Chipotle. Oh, you feel me on the chicken thighs? I hate chicken thighs. Chicken thighs are disgusting to me. I remember I went to this Hawaiian wedding one time, and the only thing I could eat was the rolls. They had these purple rolls made from poi, that root. and they were good, but they had these chicken skewers, and as soon as I bit into it, I was like, ew, chicken thighs. I was like, how cheap. Y'all serving chicken thighs at a freaking reception? But some people don't mind chicken thighs. It's a cultural thing, because I notice Asians, they like chewing on like gristly stuff, and they like chewing on like fat and cartilage and stuff, and chicken thighs got a lot of fat on them. But you know what? My mom used to trick me back in the day, because when I was a kid, the thigh, when it came to fried chicken, the thigh, I used to think the thigh was my favorite part of the chicken. But then when I grew up, I put two and two together. I was like, nah. I was like, my mom was throwing me the thigh because I was the youngest and nobody wanted the thigh. So I would eat the thigh, and I thought I loved thighs. But then when I got older, I was like, these thighs suck. Lilith said Asians love octopi and those calamari rings. They love chewy food. Yeah. So yeah, if I'm cooking with chicken, it's gonna be chicken breast. I'm not even too crazy about chicken legs because of that, all that sinewy stuff and the veins and all that type of stuff. I could go for some fried fish though. Or I could go to Lolo's and get me a plate of soul food. But do I really want to be waiting in line for that shit? Lolo's is the shit. We got this good soul food place in Phoenix. They sell chicken and waffles. But I don't even have the stomach for that today. Choi's mesquite broiler. I think we got one here. Yeah, because Sarah, you're in AZ. I could swear I seen Choi's before. Am I pronouncing it right? Yeah, I love chicken breast. Thank you, HTH. A lot of people comment on my hair. I think I might do these pigtails more often. I got them in because of Gemini season. Dog meat. Papa Do's. I always wanted to go to Papa Do's, but I'm just getting something to go. I'm not going to sit down in a restaurant, but I could. Oh man, we don't even have White Castle here, I don't think. Cherry Love said my Vietnamese coworker got tricked into eating dog meat too. What? One time I did get a chicken egg roll, and I could swear that was not chicken. This was years ago. And I remember, I think that was the same day I found this bone in the chicken egg roll. And that scared me straight off of your average ghetto Chinese food plates. That's why ever since I was like real selective in terms of where I was getting my Chinese food. And I think that was the time I got food poisoning that fucked up my gallbladder for like a good 2 months. Oh, we got Jack in a Box. I don't want Jack in a Box though. Natasha said Chinese food is disgusting. Siobhan said, go on and get you a Buddha pool on them ponytail. Hey, right. He'd be like this. Woo! Maybe I should go to Gallagher's, which is a sports bar, and just sit in there and get something to eat. Y'all dare me? And maybe I'll pick up a guy, take him home real quick for some dessert. For some banana cream pie. No, I hate bananas. But you know what I mean about banana cream pie. I wish I did have somebody to pull on these ponytails. Shit. You said vlog it. Sarah said, gonna buy your ass a margarita too. Shoot. I would love that. Miss Parker? Miss Parker. I love that part. I've seen Looking for Mr. Goodbar. That movie was hardcore. I remember she was just out trying to find dates. She was going to the bars. This was Diane Keaton. Old movie. I remember I saw it as a kid. I'm not afraid of no cream pies now. Go find one of those hole in the walls, right? So I could find some crazy ass man. Yeah, I did Gemini movies. Check out my video list. But yeah, my daughter got me really kind of considering Mexican dudes. I ain't gonna lie, because her boyfriend's Mexican, and that's one thing about Mexican men. They know how to treat women, a lot of them. I just gotta put it out there. They are some of the most romantic, relationship oriented, family oriented dudes you will ever come across. Like, these dudes are so much about their family and keeping their family together. Man, and then they be taking their kids to the fast food place and they be spending like $60 and shit. I'd be like, God damn, but that's one thing. That's what I love about Mexicans. They are about family. They are family first. Shauna said, can someone do a spell for fame and fortune? Yeah, if you're already heading in that direction. Let's say that you're a aspiring star or aspiring singer or whatever. You could do spells to help you out, like to help you get a gig, to help you get that role in a movie. You don't think these actors be doing that shit? But they be sacrificing lambs and chickens and shit. Hillary Clinton be sacrificing chickens in her backyard, I heard. You know, she's a Scorpio. She's all into that magic. She be going to Haiti like every month and shit, getting work done. So you're saying Filipinos are very family oriented too? Yup, I had a Filipino, she was half Filipino, half Hawaiian, very family oriented. That's how I ended up going to that wedding. And her brother paid, so I had a Filipino Hawaii, well, we're still friends, but she moved back to Hawaii, so we really haven't been hanging. But when her brother got married, this is how family they are. Like, when you are friends with them, they treat you like family. Like, if you a good friend. So when her brother got married, he paid for my plane ticket to go to Hawaii for the wedding. Now that's some blessings right there. So I got a free trip to Hawaii. Hawaii. Welcome to Hawaii. Welcome to Hawaii. Oh my God, and Hawaiians are so nice. They're some of the nicest people you will meet. Has anybody ever been to Hawaii? You know what I'm talking about? Hawaiians are good people, and guess what? They act black. They may not consider themselves black, but guess what? The first Hawaiians were black. Have you seen the first queen of Hawaii? Queen Likaluganilani or something like that? She was straight up black. Look her up. Look up the first queen of Hawaii. Straight up black. But Hawaiians are some of the most thorough, kindest people you will ever meet. And they all wear flip-flops. Like, they're so laid back. They all wear flip-flops. They wear the Hawaiian shirts. That shit is real. No, we were going to go to a luau, but we didn't have time. So Filipinos are the same way. Manuel said, I'm half Mexican, but I'm a Sagittarius. Yeah, I rock with Mexican. I rock with all Hispanics. I love them. I just love the culture, the different cultures. Can I do a reading about 50 Cent, the loan shark? Pluto Astrology said the first everything was black. Legion said, but honestly, I slowed down with my Filipino family. Oh, them Samoans. You can tell they're black too. They so you'll see a lot of Samoans in Hawaii too. You got Samoans out here too in Arizona, California, but they're basically black. They may not call themselves black, but they're black. They got that their hair tends to not be as kinky as black, but they do got that kinky hair. They got that hair that be all the way out to here. Like that one football player. What's that football player's name? His hair is like this big. The Rock is Samoan, yeah. And his dad is black. So Blasian Beauty said, I've been to Hawaii during my military days. Manuel said the people in Hollywood sacrifice their own relatives. Yeah, Samoans do be big. Yup. You say even the thinner ones got weight on them. Akeda said Australian Aboriginals are older than African. They gave rise to the Asiatic and African. You could definitely see that. They don't look like nobody else. You could tell like they're original people. And they got some strong magic with them and some like shamans that be on some next shit. Cause they do that dream time thing, the Aboriginals, where they could go into other dimensions and shit. Jason Momoa, yeah. Is he Samoan or Hawaiian? Yeah, he is pretty fine. So Jason Momoa is Hawaiian. Okay. Y'all remember that rap group Booyah Tribe? They were Samoan, I think. They had the long braids and they had the bands around the braids and stuff. Who remembers that Booyah Tribe? They had that song. It was like Psycho Actor. Am I the only one who remembers the Booyah Tribe? But I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. I'm playing around. Jam and Barry said that Cosby kid, Barry Jason Momoa. I remember the Baja Man. Aren't they the ones who sang Who Let the Dogs Out? I hated that song. Who let the dogs out? Ooh, ooh, ooh. I hated that. Oh, so Booyah Tribe are LA Bloods. I thought they were Samoan though. OG Hood Bangers. You said go get you some choice. I don't know where there's one close because I'm not trying to drive far. So they are Samoan. Okay. That's what I thought. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm signing off because it's 4:10. I need to get something to eat, and my stomach is really starting to talk to me. But thank you for joining me during the live. If you would like a reading, you could go to my website at rabina.com and just putting it here right here. And I'll be doing the next live. We're going to do that 80s throwback party. So that's going to be fun. Wear your 80s gear. We're going to reminisce about the 80s movies, 80s TV shows, the clothes, the trends, all that stuff. And I'm going to be providing some astrological insight in terms of the planets that were going down around that time. So, for instance, Uranus was in Sagittarius in the 80s, Pluto was in Scorpio, Neptune was in Capricorn. So, we're going to get into all that. So, it's going to be real good. So, y'all enjoy the rest of your day or night. Have a good work week. Or if you don't work, have a good time chilling. Whether you're a slacker or whether you're running your own business, be about that grind, what have you. Love you all. And I'll be back soon. Peace and many blessings.